doing that lately, and I'm looking at their total yards, and they've really dominated this year total yards-wise, but their record's 4-4, and they've been outscored. What do you contribute that to? You contribute to poor special teams play, and they're going to have to do a better job now and throughout the playoffs.
One thing that has worked for them all year long is their wishbone offense with Brian Kramer up the middle and Rick Burtzel taking the ball around the end. It worked last week against Alex. It's worked every week. And I think if they stick to that game plan and avoid the big play, which really has plagued the team this year, I think they will win the football game. But if they'll go deep on them, and trust me, they're going to throw the ball to Erickson, and they're going to try to stretch this Rocori defense.
Well, and another thing you're going to see is, I think Rocori's got to get up early, Tony. We've talked about it all year when we see the head hanging. When they're playing well early and they get up and you can see their confidence, they're a pretty good football team. But when their confidence is destroyed early, they're hurting. We saw that last week.
Rocori's going to get the football to start the football game. 12 minutes up on the clock, the ball teed up at the 40, and Rocori will get the football. They send two back deep, John Thompson on the far side, Cassidy Glad on the near side. Ball right down the middle of the field, leg laid to it. It's going to go deep down to about the 5. John Thompson back a step to get it. 10, 15, right up the middle of the field, 20. Found a little seam and got out to about the 30. Tackled there. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Rocori offense just outside their own 30-yard line.
Well, it'd be interesting if Mark Johnson comes out with some sort of gadget play. Obviously, Fergus Falls has not seen him that much, probably only has one film on him, so you never know what Johnson may come out with. He may come out with the trick play that he's so famous for, or he may come out with that good wishbone attack that they've used all year.
Rocori will come to the line in the wishbone, spread right. Brian Kramer, the up back. John Thompson, Tim Kramer in the backfield. Handoff goes right up the middle. Brian Kramer hit as he gets to the line of scrimmage, able to move forward for a couple, about 3. Right up the gut with your fullback, Brian Kramer.
I think you're going to see a lot of running tonight off that left side. I know Mark Johnson's had great success this year running off of Jeff Stotts, the left tackle or left guard, and of course Ted Griffin, the left tackle. So we're going to see a lot of balls going to that left side.
2nd down and 8 after Kramer gets 2 on 1st down. Mathry goes wide to the right. Here comes, I think it's Kramer to the left side. It's Tim Kramer on that counter play, and he's got a big hole. Crosses the 40. Should have a 1st down. It'll be real close on a gain of next to 8 for Tim.
Yeah, good hole there. A little bit of a cross block between Jeff Stotts and Ted Griffin on the left side there. It really blew a heck of a hole for Timmy Kramer there.
Maybe about a half a yard shy. They're now going to bring in the sticks and measure. But Tim got 8. He needed to get just across the 30, or the 40 rather. The ball now sits right on the 30. I think they'll be about a half a yard short.
What an interesting play call here. Mark Johnson with that big physical fullback and physical offensive line maybe can't afford to take a shot here if they are short in this situation. Yeah, they are about 3 inches short. What they can maybe do here is maybe take a shot, throw the ball downfield, knowing that Brian Kramer probably is going to lose yardage on that 4th down call.
I don't think you go for it on 4th down and the old 39. He'll hand the ball off here and run the option, I guarantee. This ball's going on the ground. They do break the wishbone here to try to keep him from keying on Brian Kramer. They hand it off to Kramer out of a deuce back set. He goes up the middle for 6 yards. Crosses the 45 and will be stopped at about the 46. On a nice game there for Brian Kramer.
So that's a gambler coming out of me, Tony. Early in the game, I think you'll like to take a shot. Well, I'll tell you what, you'll take 6 yards every time like you got there, too.
Certainly. Brian Matherin goes out wide right. They go back to the wishbone with Brian, Tim, and John Thompson in the backfield. Handoff fake to Kramer going around the right side is Burtzel. Now he pitches it open is the tailback, Thompson, and he'll pick up about 8 yards.
Real nice read there by Rick Burtzel. Not only reading that, hey, the fullback isn't available there, not only that read, but also the read of the defensive end. As soon as the defensive end came up to hit Rick Burtzel, he was able to give the pitch to the halfback in full stride, which would be John Thompson. Thompson took the ball around and just about as pretty as you can execute that option.
At 7 yards on that carry, 2nd down and long 3 now from the 47. Split backs, handoff goes, coming to the left side, hopping over a couple, and then diving across the 40 of Fergus Falls to about the 39. I think it was Brian Kramer. 1st down on that carry.
A real nice job again by that offensive line. I really believe that Fergus Falls is going to have a difficult time handling the size and strength of Rocori's offensive line.
First and 10, Rocori. They've moved it now for a couple of first downs. But have it first and 10 at the 39 of Fergus Falls. Ryan Maffrey comes wide to the near side. Split back, slot receiver. Inside handoff, John Thompson. Shuffles his feet a bit. He's going to get dragged down after about a 2-yard gain.
So that's kind of an uncharacteristic run of John Thompson there. He's usually one to kind of burst through the hole rather than pick and feel his way there. And that's what he did right there, and they were able to clog it up for a real short gain.
About a 1-yard gain is all on that carry for John. Second down and 9 for Rocori. At the 39 of Fergus Falls, opening drive of the game, we're scoreless. Wide out, right slot receiver, left handoff comes. It's that counter play to Tim Kramer, and he's tackled by 3 white shirts out there, thrown back after a gain of about a yard. Maybe 2.
I'll tell you, number 56, Paul Kaba, linebacker and also center for the Otters, is 6 foot 215 pounds, and he put one heck of a hit there on Timmy Kramer. He looks like a real physical football player.
So it'll be third down, about 8 now for Rocori. Maybe a passing situation here. Out of the wishbone spread to the right, Burtzel back. Steps inside his blockers, throws it downfield to a bad pass. Joe Hafner was there and opened the coverage by Aaron Olson, the ball underthrown.
What Rick's got to do there, especially early in the game, is let that ball fly. He tried to touch that ball in there, and Rick's just not an effective passer when he tries to do that. He's got to let it go. Fling the ball, have confidence in your receivers, have confidence in your arm strength. Things usually work out better that way.
Looks like they're going to go for it here on fourth down and about 8 from the 37 of Fergus Falls. They come to the line and split wide to the right, Ryan Maffrey. Split backs. Burtzel over center. Now back to pass, looking down the right side, setting up the screen pass. They had a hold of John Thompson's jersey, and it was so far away from the play, they knew that was coming. The end of the play, Brent Ness actually was grabbing John Thompson's jersey. You could see it all the way up here. They don't call the holding, but Ness right there to make the deflection on the attempted pass.
Tell you what, Ness almost picked that off, and if he picks that one off, he goes the entire distance for 6 points.
Well, Rocori moves it for 33 yards, and it goes over on downs. So Fergus will get their first crack from their own 37. 2 wide to the left and a solo back behind the quarterback, Aaron Olson. Straight back is Olson, looking left all the way. Throws it, it's tipped and caught, but it hit the ground first. Good call, pretty easy to see from up here, but a good deflection by somebody up front for Rocori.
That was number 57, Joe Peters, with the deflection. Joe's, as we spoke of in other games, has really kind of come into his own. He's a big, tall, strapping ball player. He's 6'5", a little over 200 pounds, and I think his best years of football are ahead of him.
Ben Shaw comes in, 5'11", 163 tailback. He does a lot of the groundwork for this club. Nick Duffy is the fullback. He goes 5'10", 200, and will be trying to pave the way for Shaw to run the football. When Olson throws it, he's usually looking for Tim Erickson, number 18. That time his attempt knocked down. 2nd and 10 now from their own 37.
But you're going to see Tim Erickson in about 7 or 8 different formations throughout the course of the game tonight.
Olson now up to the line with Shaw and Duffy behind him. Here comes a draw play going up the middle to Shaw, shakes a tackle at the line of scrimmage and goes forward for about 5 right up the middle.
Pretty nice execution there by the Otters. I think the Spartans definitely thought that it was going to be a pass there. It did look like a pass, and the line came off the ball well and did a nice job of blocking the Spartan defensive line.
3rd down and 5 now for Fergus Falls. Trying to get the ball across midfield, pick up a first down here. They're at their own 43. They need 5 for a first. Wide left goes Erickson. Split backs behind the quarterback, Olson. Olson trying to draw him off sides. They stay put. Handoff Shaw. Cuts between left tackle and guard. He's going to get about 2, but it's going to leave 4th down at about 3.
That was a nice defensive series by the Spartans right there. They did an excellent job up front by, they may not make the tackle, but they use up 2 or 3 of the Otter blockers, which enable the linebackers to make some solid hits there. Real good job by number 75, Charlie Dittman, number 38, Brian Kramer. Number 34, Brian Kramer.
Fergus Falls brings in the punting unit and appears to be setting up for a punt here. Arneson, 5'9", 165, will kick it away. If I were in the red shirt here, I'd be a little suspicious.
Absolutely.
Snapback is good, fielded, and the boot. It's a low punt, but is going all the way back to the 10 after he dropped it. Now he's down, and he better get on it. He gets up, but they're going to say he was down, and he was. He had a knee down, and way back at about the 7-yard line, maybe closer than that, 6-yard line. ROCORI will get the ball 1st and 10.
Ryan Mathery in a
defensive possession of the ball game. We're scoreless, 7:15 to play, opening quarter. ROCORI with the ball for the second time. Handoff goes, it's loose on the ground, and I think John Thompson was able to hop on it at about the 8-yard line. He's going to lose about a half a yard, though, and it will bring up second down and long for ROCORI.
One of the things I did have a chance to do today, Tony, was get the statistics for the Spartans from Coach Mark Johnson, and I think there's just one here that I kind of want. 128 yards, and their opponents have rushed for 1,112 yards. It kind of shows you what kind of football the Spartans play here.
I formation, wide receiver left, or right rather. Kramer now motions left to right, but 2 to the right. Draw play. Thompson up the middle. Gets hit at the line, drags forward across the 10 to about the 11-yard line. John will pick up about 3 yards that carry. Still lead 3rd down and long.
And it'll be interesting if Fergus Falls does stop the Spartans' running attack, or at least to a certain extent stops their running attack. Will they be able to adjust? Will they be able to effectively throw the football? That's a big question.
Wide receiver to the left. ROCORI out of the wishbone here. 3rd down or about 8. Coming with the option left. Burtzel gets by one man, cuts inside another. Now the late pitch to Tim Kramer. He's going to get the 1st down, and what a play by your junior quarterback.
I'll tell you, I said this earlier, but you can't execute an option any better than he does. When he turns the ball upfield and is running, he doesn't forget about the pitch man behind him. He may be 10 yards downfield and deliver a perfect pitch to his running back, who can pick up another 10 yards. Rick Burtzel's really got a good feel for when and where that pitch man is.
Burtzel takes it for 4. Tim Kramer the next 7, and it makes a 1st down for ROCORI. Good job by Burtzel to elude 2 tacklers before making the pitch. Now Tim splits wide to the left. Kuhn wide right, split backs. Handoff goes. Tim Kramer, no hole there. And Ryan Kramer cuts back inside to the right and will get positive yards, but boy, did they eliminate any hole up the middle that time.
Well, what the Otters are doing up front with their defensive tackles especially is they're doing some stunting. They're shooting the gaps, they're pinching here, they're giving the Spartans a lot of different looks, and it probably will take the Spartan offensive line a little bit of time to adjust to this. You don't see as much of this in the Central Lakes, as much stunting as the Otters are doing tonight.
2nd down and 8 now. ROCORI with the ball. 2 wide right I formation behind Burtzel. Handoff goes up the middle. Second back is Thompson. And he gets through for a short gain of about a yard or so. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
That was Nick Duffy, also plays fullback, which you mentioned before, Tony. He's a 5'10", 200-pound linebacker, number 45 in our program. He looks like quite a hitter out there. He really put a good lick on Thompson.
When I asked their coaches in the pregame about their special players, they mentioned Duffy. They said he's one to watch out for, and he showed himself there. 3rd down, 7. Burtzel going right. He gave it off at the middle, and there's no hole there. Look at big 82 on the tackle. That would be Kilby. Ryan Kilby, 6'2", 200-pound end, had Kramer wrapped up at the line of scrimmage and wasn't about to let go.
What's impressive there is to have somebody that can actually physically knock Brian Kramer back.
17 yards on this drive for ROCORI, but they're going to be forced to punt it away. 7 plays, and now they need a good punt. The ball sits at about the 28-yard line. Snapback is good. A low punt, get a roll. Does right between the return man. It's going to go back inside the 40, down at about the 35. The Otters will get it there. We need to break. First quarter scoreless, back in 30 seconds with ROCORI and Fergus Falls.
At Chrysler, more important, these conclusions were reached by owners themselves because both J.D. Power & Associates and Strategic Vision based their studies on interviews with thousands of actual new vehicle owners. At Chrysler, our passion for design and engineering is matched only by our passion for quality. Chrysler, engineered to be great cars. For more information on J.D. Power & Associates and Strategic Vision Awards, call 1-88-CHRYSLER.
On 1st and 10, Fergus Falls gets the ball back on the 35, hand off to Duffy. He goes for about 7. 2nd and 3 now for the Otter split backs. Here comes Shaw, left side. cuts in through the blockers and picks up positive yards. He'll pick up about 6 on that carry. Big hole open up the middle for Ben Shaw.
And Shaw seems to know what to do with a hole like that. He really got through there quick. He looks like he has got a low center of gravity, so obviously the Spartans are going to have to be conscious of his running ability.
1st and 10 now for the Otters. Trying to spoil the Spartans' home game here in the playoffs. First time, this is my 3rd year of doing Rocori football. 2 years ago they went to Litchfield, and last year they went to Sauk Rapids, so kind of nice to get one at home, but let's see if they can do something with it. Wide receiver to the left. Handoff goes Duffy right up the middle, coming right at you. Rocori stacks him up as he gets to midfield. Gain of about 2.
Well, that's some solid hitting there. One thing we have mentioned, with the exception of last week, the Spartans' defense has been getting a lot more men to the football than they had the previous 4 or 5 games. And right there was a classic example of that. You're better off tackling the runner with 3 or 4 or 5 football players than you are 1.
Go down to the sidelines, Joe.
All right, Tony, they're looking at the tight ends, the defensive coaches for Corey. They're keeping an eye on them, trying to find out if they're going to come out of the backfield for a pass. So far it hasn't happened, but keep your eye out for that one. Tony?
2nd down and 8 as the Otters come to the line. The officials blow it dead as the ball sits right near midfield. And now they talk with one of the Rocori linebackers. And now things are whistled ready for play. 2nd down and 8 from midfield. Otters with the football trying to break on the scoreboard first. Pitch going to the left. Shot in the backfield's going to go down for a loss. Rocori seemed to know that was coming. Boy, did that linebacker get there in a hurry.
I talked with Rick Tyson today about some of the tendencies of the Fergus Falls offense, and he said, okay, when they're in a dual back situation with 2 wideouts on the right side of the field, what they usually do is pitch the ball to the left. Well, that's exactly what they did. So what Rick Tyson do? He blitzes that side knowing that it's going to come. What that is, folks, is that's hard work and scouting. Rick saw their tendencies, and he was able to figure out what they do in certain situations. Excellent call by the defensive coordinator.
Here they go 2 wide to the right. Arneson out there along with Erickson. 1 setback. Back to passes. Olsen over the middle, hangs it, and it's tipped and then caught. Should have been picked, and they're going to get the catch. Erickson comes sprawling in at the 37 and made the grab.
It looked like John Thompson had a clear pick there. He jumped up real nice and looked like he had decent timing. The ball just went off his fingertips and deflected right in the arms of the Otter receiver.
Erickson made a nice diving catch of the ball, and now they've got something cooking here at the 37 of Rocori, 1st and 10. John was in the perfect spot to make the play. He got a hand on it, but that's about all he could do.
Yeah, he was in a perfect spot.
Erickson goes wide left, split backs. Likely a running situation. Here comes a handoff on the draw play to Shaw, left side. Somebody who made penetration got a hand on him down low, and then a couple of others there to help out. It'll be about a 1 or 2 yard gain for Shaw.
Looks like Fergus Falls has pretty good execution on that draw, though. They're able to fool the Spartans into thinking that there's going to be a pass. So what the defensive linemen do is they rush the passer hard and, in essence, take themselves right out of the play.
2nd down, 8. In Rocori territory now at the 35. It's time to run out of an eye with Erickson split wide to the left. Duff to the up back, fake to both, back to pass, all day to throw, looking for Erickson down the left side. He's open, and he had it just tipped away at the last instant. Might have been Mathry or Kuhn, and they were able to knock it out of the hands of Erickson, who had it go right off his fingertips at about the 5 yard line.
Well, it looks like Ryan Mathry there. What happened, Ryan had pretty good coverage there, and then he kind of misjudged the football a little bit. I think he thought it was going to go a little bit further than it did, or not quite as far as it did, and at the last moment he had to dive forward and knock the ball away from the receiver. So, all in all, a good play by Ryan Mathry.
3rd down now, big stop here coming for Rocori. Otters need about 8 yards to get the first. Erickson wide left, split backs, Shaw and Duffy. Fake to Duffy, pump down the left side, hit the back, the ball comes out. Rocori's got it. Rocori falls on the loose football, and they came with the blitz that time, and it paid off. hitting Olson, forcing the fumble.
What a great play by number 24, Paul Schreiner. He came around the blind side and hit Aaron Olson right as Aaron Olson was about to throw the football. I mean, he flat out leveled him. The ball popped out and the Spartans were able to fall on it. And that's the type of break you need early in a playoff game. Get your momentum, get your confidence. Let's see if the Spartans can establish that ground game right here.
Good field position now for Rocori as they start at their own 40. Wishbone spread to the left. Burtzel with the give off up the middle, and Kramer lost the handle on it after about a 3-yard gain, but I think Rocori may have gotten it back. They did. 2nd down and 7.
I think that play was blown dead. A fumble cannot cause, or the ground cannot cause a fumble, and I believe that is the case.
Lucky that time for Rocori. That's about the 4th time this year. I think Brian's coughed the ball up on that dive play to the fullback.
And I think 2 of them have been after the Spartans have been the benefactors of a turnover.
That's the end of the first. We're scoreless, and Cold Spring back in 60 seconds.
Cold Spring Branding Company will have
dairy cattle, along with our regular run of feeder cattle, calves, and slaughter cattle. Make sure you make this sale. A lot of buyer demand right now for these dairy cattle. Thank you.
High school football and over 94.9 tonight in Cold Spring. It's Rocori and Fergus Falls. Rocori now with a football back for their 3rd possession of the game. Tim Kramer on 2nd down picks up maybe a yard or 2, but not a lot of running room there. Oh, he busted out, didn't he? I was looking, John Thompson was blocking for him, and John was down at about the 45. Tim managed to get out near the 49, close to a 1st down.
Well, Timmy Kramer showing, I guess, Tony, we really noticed it last week and the week before, is that 2nd and 3rd effort. Right there, he was stopped for a very minimal gain, and he was able to really put some extra effort forward and pick up a nice gain there.
23 yards on 4 carries for Tim. Wishbone spread to the right. Handoff goes inside to Brian Kramer. He got across the midfield stripe where he needed to, so it should be a 1st down. But then, for the 2nd time tonight, we saw Brian Kramer going backwards. They're hitting.
Well, and Brian isn't just taking that ball full steam ahead. He's been doing a better job of picking his holes lately, and right there, I think he kind of danced around a little bit, and all of a sudden, one of the Otter defensive linemen showed up and said, "No, you're not going to pick your hole because I'm going to hit you right in the chest."
Let's go to Joe Erickson. He's in the stands. Joe?
All right, thanks a lot, Tony. Right now, I'm with the Hirschfield clan, and a big recovery here. Let's start with Jerry, the father. Jerry, your son just made the recovery. Tell me about your son in his senior year.
Well, Jed's a starting linebacker, the leading tackler on the team, and plays pretty good football.
Let's go over to Marge. Proud mother, is that right?
Absolutely. Jed enjoys football really a lot, and he's just having a great year.
More talk after this play, Tony.
All right, Joe, after the 1st down, right at midfield, Rocori has it now 1st and 10 out of the bone spread to the right. Fake by Burtzel, looking to pass deep. Burtzel's airing it out. Erickson, the defender, came up and made a nifty play at the 10-yard line. Pulls incomplete. He had his man open, as you mentioned, but good job by Erickson, the defensive back, kind of a jump ball. He batted it away, Joe.
All right, back with the Hirschfield brothers. Now we'll start with Josh and Jerry. Josh, you got a little message out for a listener around the audience?
Yeah, I'd like to say hi to Grandpa Hirschfield in St. Cloud, listening to the game. Cheer record, Grandpa.
Jerry, the brother, you had a chance to watch your brother play a couple times here?
Yeah, I've seen him improve his game during the season. Hopefully he'll continue to go on through the playoffs.
All right, Tony, the Hirschfield's happy about this game so far. Their son and brother, the star on defense so far.
Thanks, Joe. Tim Kramer on 2nd down at about 10, goes up the middle for about 4. It'll be 3rd down here for Rocori. What'd you see on that long bomb?
Well, I thought Lance Johnson, the receiver, who's just had an outstanding year on junior varsity football, kind of quit running there a little bit. I think if he had kept going, he may have caught that ball for 6. But I'll tell you what, I like the call. That's one of the things that we've seen early in the year when Mark Johnson's offense was at its best, I thought, was when they did open up the passing game early in the early downs and then run the ball later in the downs.
Big play here for Rocori, 3rd down about 6. Inside handoff. Right at the line of scrimmage, Brian Kramer went down faster than I've ever seen him go down. In 3 years of doing Rocori football, I've never seen him taken down like that. Duffy met him right at the 45, and Brian Kramer went down right there.
Boy, they're having an awful lot of problems blocking that Duffy tonight. He is really a menace.
It'll be 4th and 5 for Rocori, and they're going to try to pin him deep here from the 45. So they get the fumble and get 1 first down, but that's the end of the road there. 15 yards for Rocori on 6 plays. The 7th will be the ensuing punt. Punt coming down at about the 15. Moving out of the way was the receiver. The ball bounds now down to about the 12. Rocori down at 3rd. And the Otter offense will come back onto the field.
You know, Tony, one of the unsung heroes, I think, for the Spartans this year really has been Joe Hafner. One of the statistics that I got from Mark Johnson today is that Joe Hafner is averaging 37 yards a punt, which is pretty doggone good in almost in any league, really. And he's also, as we've seen the last 4 or 5 weeks, he's really kicked the ball off well at times. So, kind of an unsung hero there, and he's done a nice job of punting the ball tonight.
Split backs. Erickson goes wide to the left side. Handoffs goes to Sean. He's met in the backfield. He's going to lose yardage again. It was almost like Rocori knew what play was coming. Shaw will lose 2 on that run.
Well, Jed Hirschfeld came in there on a blitz, number 50, and I'll tell you what, he delivered one heck of a blow right at the shoulder pads of the running back and knocked him back about 3-4 yards. So another great play by number 50 on defense.
Well, there's a fumble recovery, last possession, and now a big hit there.
Maybe it helps to talk to Mom and Dad.
Well, he's had a heck of a year this year.
Yeah, he has.
Second down, about 12 now. Otters back now to about their 10-yard line. Split backs, Erickson wide to the right. Rocori shows blitz, able to stay on sides, and they blitz right up the middle, and that's right where the handoff was going. But I'll tell you what, it's pretty tough to run through 3 Rocori men right over your center, and that play had very little chance.
A nice play there by number 42, Brett Tyson. He knew. He kind of tried to guess the snap count there, didn't guess right, but was able to stay on side and still was able to hold his ground there against that big offensive line of the Otters. And I'll tell you what, you're right, Tony. Rick Tyson's guessing right here. Either he's guessing right or he knows a heck of a lot more than we know up here.
Here's a play that scares me. 3rd down, a likely passing down here. Rocori has not defended the pass extremely well this year. Wideouts each way. Back to pass, Olsen looking deep down the right side. Airs it out. His man has the defender beat and makes the grab at the midfield stripe and goes out of bounds right there. A long strike of 40 yards, good for a first down, and they move the chains and get to midfield.
Well, you play and got to defend that pass better right there. There's no question about it. You don't get beat deep in that situation right there. I know Tim Erickson must be a fine athlete, but Joe Hafner can't let the receiver get behind him in that situation right there. Keep him in front of you. If he gets a 10, 15-yard gain, big deal, but you don't give up the big play, and that's what the Spartans did right there.
Erickson now with 2 receptions for 54 yards. He's wide right again. They split a wide out to the left side. That's Giese. 1 setback, Duffy behind the quarterback, Olsen. 2-step drop, throws it down the right side. Good hit just as the ball got there to break up the pass. The wide receiver right that time was Justin Arneson, a 5'9 junior split end. He couldn't hang on that time.
A nice job by the Rocori linebackers. That was a quick slant play of one of the wideouts, and the linebackers got a real solid drop, and as soon as the ball was touched by the receiver, the linebacker put a good lick on the receiver, and he dropped the ball.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. The ball just about the football length inside the Rocori half. High formation. More tight set here with the slot receiver left. Fake handoff, fake reverse coming around the near side is Olsen, the quarterback, on a beautiful fake. He'll get 8 yards, and about 9 of the Rocori defenders were caught inside that time. And it's lucky that the 2 that stayed outside made the tackle. Otherwise, that one would have gone the distance.
That looked like something from the 1950s there. About 3 or 4 fakes. You didn't know where the ball was. He kept it on his hip. And just an outstanding job by the quarterback, number 15, Aaron Olsen. But what concerns me here is number 5 for the Spartans, Ryan Mathery, seems to have hurt his right leg a little bit. I don't know if it's his knee or ankle, but they could ill afford to lose Ryan Mathery.
3rd down, about 2 after the 8-yard gain by Olsen. Olsen was a receiver on last year's team, had not started a game at quarterback for this club until the first game of this year. I tell you what, he put a nice fake on the Rocori defense that time.
Yeah, that was kind of looked like almost a veteran type of quarterback play right there, not a first-year quarterback. Just a great job of play faking right there.
Rocori must have called a timeout. The water bottles came out. Coach Tyson is out there. And I think that may have been a play he did not anticipate.
Yeah, and even if you do anticipate a play like that, it's very difficult to stay home on all those series of fakes. Just a kind of a throwback play and really kind of interesting to watch. You don't see that very often in high school football anymore.
7:32 to go in the first half. We're scoreless. Rocori, the number 3 seed in Section 8 4A. Fergus Falls, the number 6 seed. Rocori, a 4-4 record, gets a 3 seed. Have to be happy with that.
Absolutely.
That's just a compliment to the tough competition they play. Third down, about 2. A guy played Dufty, or maybe it was Shaw. Now he'll pop to the right side, and that's not a good idea, as there's 4 red shirts there. The positive spot may get him about half of what he needed, but I still think he's going to be a little bit short.
Yeah, he is. You know what's kind of interesting, Tony, is that 1992, the year after the Spartans went to the Prep Bowl, they had a 4-4 record and didn't even make playoffs.
That's one of the things this new 5-class system does. You get a lot more teams playing a little deeper into October. Rocori 4-4 to 3 seed. 4th and short, quarterback right up the gut, and I think he's going to get across the 40. Should get the first down. He'll pick up a yard. That's about all he needed.
Yeah, it appears that he does have it right there. Well, one thing, I think that the quarterback, Earl Helson, appears to be a pretty good athlete. He looks like he has some quickness. Looks like he's got a pretty decent arm with some nice touch on it and some savvy out there. So, you know, if the Otters can have some balance and have some diversity in offense, be able to throw the ball and run the ball, they may give the Spartans some fits.
The longer this game stays close, I think the more worried the Rocori fans and players will get. I mean, they're the 3 seed. This is a game they are supposed to win. And so far, it has been dead even.
It really has, but if you look at Fergus Falls, and you mentioned this in the pregame, is they've played some pretty good football lately. I mean, Midgey is a heck of a team, the number 1 seed in a class up from here, you know, and that's some pretty good football right there. They're the number 1 seed, and the Otters really took them right down to the wire in that football game.
1st and 10 now for Fergus Falls at the 39 of Rocori. Wide receiver right is Erickson. Shaw, Dufty, the setbacks. Back to pass, pumps once, looking downfield. He slips, regains balance. Open is Erickson in the end zone, and he's got it. Deep to the end zone for Justin Arneson, who is lined up on the right. And it's going to go in the books as a 40-yard touchdown strike from Olson to Arneson, and Fergus Falls leads at 6-zip.
You know, an absolutely beautiful pattern. He made a great double move on Joe Hafner. His man got by him again. And the quarterback made an excellent pump fake. Hafner bought him the pump fake. He was able to streak by him. Quarterback Olson delivered an absolutely perfect ball to Erickson in stride, and it was too easy. I mean, it just looked plain too easy.
Well, they'll try to add the extra point now. Luke Draxton, 6'5", 165 on for the kick. Put down is up, and look at the leg. Up and through. He was hitting 40-yarders in warm-ups from 20. It's a piece of cake. It's 7-0. Fergus Falls jumps on top first. We'll break with 6.5 to play in the first half. It's 7-0 Fergus Falls. Creamery. Fergus Falls on the scoreboard first. Joe, you have a quick comment for us?
Yeah, I've got a little injury update. Ryan Mather, he seems to be okay. The coaches asked him if he could be ready to be back into play in the next offensive series. He said, yeah, either calf or shin. I talked to him real shortly as he was passing by. He said he didn't know what it was, but he should be okay.
Okay, Joe, thank you for the update. Rocori's got to get ready to play, and so far, Gary, as you said during the break, they are not ready. They'll receive the kick. The onside kick, and they were not waiting for it. Luckily, somebody turned around. May have been Hirschfeld. We'll have to get the number. No, David Ike, 30. They were all headed backwards. Nobody suspected an onside kick. Rocori fortunate. David Ike just kind of peered back, and the ball was bounding right for him. He falls on it at about the 39. Rocori will have excellent field position.
Well, I tell you what, folks, I hope that is the wake-up call the Spartans needed here, because they don't look like they're into this football game right now. They're missing blocks, they're missing assignments defensively. They just don't seem to be very aggressive out there, so hopefully that's the wake-up call they need.
Wishbone, tight formation with a wide receiver to the right. Handoff goes up the middle, and it's fairly obvious Fergus Falls is not going to let Rocori beat them up the middle. They have done a better job to this point than any team this year at stopping the dive play to Brian Coleman.
I'll tell you what, they're physical up there. I watched the blocking scheme right there, and Big Dan Zolner came off the ball pretty hard, and I'll tell you what, he got stood up by the defensive tackle across from him. So Yeah, that tells me that guy can play some football, that defensive tackle, because Dan Solder's a pretty good blocker there at right guard.
Same formation. Wishbone spread to the right. Pitch going to the left. John Thompson trying to use his speed. Got a good block out front. Flag down. John's going to get the first down on a pickup of about 12, but right where that block occurred, they threw a penalty flag. And I'll tell you, the offensive lineman just threw his hands out and backed the guy off about 4 yards. I saw nothing like a hold. This penalty flag really makes me curious here as to what the call could possibly be.
Now they're talking to Fergus Falls, so I would assume it is against the Spartans right there, and that does seem to be the place where that block occurred.
Going to step it off from the flag. Probably a hold. You're right. And there were two blockers there. The one closest to us was no hold. Obviously, that's the one I was looking at during the run, but tough penalty there for Rocori on a run that would have picked up first down yardage. Instead, it will leave 2nd and 17.
And these are the scenarios, the situations that you really want to stay out of here. You don't want 2nd and long and 3rd and long.
Split backs, wide receiver to the right. Burtzel looks on the up to Mathery and threw it behind him. Mathery went down about 10 yards and stopped and turned, and the ball was thrown behind him. But I think Ryan is still a little bit walking on either a tender ankle or some kind of injury.
I'll tell you what, it was a good pattern by Ryan Mathery, and he was open. Rick Burtzel just flat out missed him there. Obviously, the Spartans need to get Rick Burtzel going here a little bit, because I don't think that they can run the ball, play complete smash mouth football with the Otters. They're going to need to throw the football.
They're down 17 as we have passed now the middle point of the second quarter. High formation, Burtzel's going to roll right. He's got excellent protection. Looking deep down the right side, he throws up a duck, and it's going to be intercepted by Erickson, who cut right in front of Mathery. That might have been Arneson. Get you the number on it. Number 18 made the catch. That's Tim Erickson. He cut right in front of Ryan Mathery, but that was a very poorly thrown ball.
It was. Rick Burtzel seemed to slip out of his hand a little bit there, and Ryan Mathery was making an adjustment to the football. It looked like he actually might have a chance to catch it, and the number 18 Erickson just stepped in and made a beautiful interception right before Ryan Mathery was about to catch the football.
Well, remember the head hanging we talked about?
Oh, yeah.
You're starting to see it from the black helmets of Rocori. They're only down 7-0, but they look like a bunch that's starting to pack it in. Mark Johnson's going to have to try to get them all riled up again. Handoff going in the middle of the field, stood up there. Joe Peters, that time, got a hold of him and gave up about a yard and then started pushing him the other way, maybe 2 yards. 2nd down, 8.
Well, so far today, obviously, the difference in the football game has been the long passing yardage by the Otters here. And so far this year, the ROCORI Spartans have given up 854 passing yards, and they've only passed for 590 themselves. So obviously, they are susceptible to some passing yards and some deep passing yards, which we've seen today.
Now they're going to show a wishbone set. Bothwell came in for the run that time. Fergus a little mixed up. We'll call a timeout. We'll take a break. 4:42 left in the first half. The Otters lead the Spartans here 7-0. We'll be back in 1 minute. Second down. That time, the quarterback, Aaron Olson, and he did not have any chance on that play.
Who is it again? Jed Hirschfeld, number 50, having the game of his career right now. I tell you, he seems to me, Tony, I don't know about you, but he seems to me to be the only Spartan to really be playing with a lot of emotion out there right now. And he really is single-handedly keeping this defense in the football game.
Yeah, we've mentioned his name repeatedly here in the first half. Recovered a fumble, a couple of big tackles. There's a quarterback sack for you. But all over the field tonight. 3rd down and 20 now after the quarterback sack. 2 wide receivers left, and I said it last time, 3rd and long. This worries me. When you force this team to throw, you better put some pressure on them. They converted 2 earlier pass plays, both for 40 yards. One on 3rd and 10, the other on 3rd and long, and that second one went for a touchdown. Here it's going to be 3rd and a bit longer as they're called for a delay.
Well, you see here kind of a unique formation that you don't see in high school. Really, you don't see it anywhere. Is you see 3 wide receivers, you see no running backs, you see 2 tight ends, which is something you really don't see very often. It's kind of unique, and the Fergus Falls team is featuring it right now.
2 of those wideouts are split to the near side, 1 up to the top. Nobody in the backfield. Straight back, and it's a quarterback draw. There's a linebacker waiting. Thompson. Olsen into the open field, and he's going to be dragged down about 1 yard short of a first down by Mathery on a pickup of 24 yards.
What a great call and what great execution. I'll tell you what the Otters do, they do pretty doggone well. They may not be the greatest running football team, but I'll tell you, their gadget plays and their little trickery plays, they do exceedingly well.
I've watched this team now for less than one half, and I'll tell you what, they're as well coached as any team I've seen this year.
Yeah, they are. They do all the little things. What they do well. And if you can say that about any football team, I'll tell you, that's a good thing.
Thanks to that 24-yard run to the Rocori 48, you've now got a 4th and 1. And they're going to take a timeout and discuss things. 2:39 to play, 7-0 in favor of Fergus Falls. We'll be back in just a moment. The ball on the 48 of the Spartans, and the Otters are going to go for it. Out of the wishbone. I would doubt a strict dive play up the middle. Look for something on the tackles are out. Fake dive going around the right side. Olsen cuts it up inside his blockers. He'll have a first down. They faked the dive play to Dufty, who incidentally would have gotten the first down. The quarterback keeps it, goes around right tackle, picks up a couple of yards.
The Spartan defense seems to be just a titch indecisive right here. They're not playing with the usual aggressiveness that they play with, and right now they're kind of letting the action of the game be dictated by the Otters here.
They have to get a stop here before the first half is over. 2:20 to play, 7-0 Spartans trail. Wishbone fake dive. Here comes the counter, a play they run about 10 times a game. It's run against them here for about 4 yards, 2nd and 6.
What the counter does is you're able to get some angles on your blocks there. What happens is their tight end can crash down on the defensive end there, and that's what the Otters need to do. They don't want to take on the Spartans head up. They want to get some angles. Looks like number 50, Jed Hirschfield there. It looks like he's pretty banged up. He came limping and then actually fell to the ground, so it doesn't look like a good thing here for the Spartans.
Well, considering he's been their inspiration on defense, he now gets up and is hopping off on his right foot, putting no pressure on his left foot at all.
Oh, is he in pain?
Yeah, he
is
is.
A knee injury, or we can only hope it's a cramp or something like that, because
the leading tackler goes out of the game. Not good.
Nope.
We'll get you an update as soon as we find out Joe is down there. 2nd down and 7. Wishbone back to pass is Olsen, looking deep for his big tight end. He's got him out there. The ball hit the ground. Almost pulled it in. Brent Ness at 6'5", 187, has several inches on the Rocori defensive backs. Almost pulled it in, but it did hit the ground, incomplete.
I want to know why the Rocori Spartans defensive backs are getting beat long. That's the only place that the Otters are throwing the ball, and they're letting the ball go over their heads. They've got to do a much better job if the Spartans are going to win the game to make sure the ball doesn't go over their heads. And that's you know, we saw that in the Brainerd game. We've seen that in almost every football game this year that they've lost, is they give up the big play, and that's what they're doing again tonight. Keep the football in front of you, fellas. That's the way you win the football game.
4th down and 7. Fergus Falls is going to burn their last time out. 1:47 to go in the first half. 7-0 our score. And we'll get you an update on Jed Hirschfeld as soon as Joe turns on his microphone. He's getting the scoop on things down there. We'll go down to him in just a short bit.
Kind of interesting that the Otters would use their timeout in this situation right here. 3rd and 7, 1:47 left. You think they may save it for, you know, in case they do get another first down or two.
Hirschfeld on the sidelines trying to put pressure on that leg. And he is standing now.
Maybe it was a cramp. We can hope it's a cramp.
7-0, Fergus Falls leads Rocori here. And Fergus has called a timeout, facing a 3rd down and 7 from the Rocori 42.
Jed's still unable to put any pressure on that leg. He tried to get up and walk a little bit there, and just wasn't able to put any pressure on that left leg. So, well, sometimes those cramps can be persistent. We just hope it's not a knee injury.
This is a really strange formation. Wide receiver to the right, lined up kind of in the slot about 4 yards deep. Gets a running start. Out and flat on the right is wide open. Arneson banged out of bounds after a gain of 12. Arneson was about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It's almost a Canadian football here, except he didn't start running before the snap. I mean, the way they lined the receivers up, he just went out about 10, cut toward the sidelines, made the catch, 12-yard gain, first down.
Yeah, and what's impressed me right now is number 15, Aaron Olson, is taking a heck of a lick every time he gets rid of the football, not even thinking about it, getting knocked down, and he's throwing strikes. Hey, he's an impressive-looking quarterback.
First and 10 now, ball at the 30. Fergus Falls threatening to score again. They lead 7-zip. Back to pass, Olson, pressure coming from the outside, avoids one man, throws it down wide open his nest. Cross the 20, cross the 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Well, give your credit to your quarterback for eluding tacklers, finding his big tight end, Brent Ness, and he cashes the ticket from 30 yards out. It's 13-0, Fergus Falls.
100% of the success of that play goes to the quarterback, Aaron Olson. He was able to escape what looked like a sure sack by the Spartans, was able to roll further to his right, was able to shield off another defender. As he was going down, was able to throw the ball sidearm to his tight end, who did the rest of the work. I'll tell you, just a fantastic play by a good-looking high school quarterback.
He'll try to add the extra point again. Place is down. Kick is up and good. 14-0. Your 6-seeded Fergus Falls Otters lead the 3rd-seeded Rocori Spartans with 1:29 to play in the first half. I don't know that Rocori is capable of coming back.
Well, physically they are, but I'll tell you what, right now, you got them pointing fingers at each other, screaming at each other. Now their heads are hanging a little bit. They need to get something positive to happen to them. And I think, obviously, I think they're a good enough football team to come back, but they need something positive.
Jed Hirschfield a little bit injured on that couple plays ago. He's headed to the locker room right now. It's about 3 inches above his ankle where the injury occurred. He was able to put a little pressure on it, but he wasn't able to jog, run, do anything more than just put a little pressure on. So as of right now, questionable for the second half.
Okay, Joe, thank you. Rocori will get the football here down by 14, and they need to score before half. That would be huge, because at this point they have zero momentum with the half just 99 seconds away.
Yeah, any sort of positive before the half, 2, 3 first downs, a long play, but ideally, if they want to be real serious about winning this football game in the second half, they need to put a score on the board. I agree with you, Tony.
It's 1:29 to go in the first half, so my math is not that bad. 89 seconds before halftime. Of course, tonight, parent-teacher conferences, that's your reason for being late. That all worked out for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I didn't get chewed out too bad, so that worked out good.
Rocori will get the football back. Maybe the players were worried about how their conferences were going to go with their parents.
I doubt it.
Low kickoff. Coming down inside the 10, it's going to go into the end zone, and it'll be brought back to the 24, a touchback.
Now, that's a crucial thing right there. Instead of getting a good return, getting it out to the 30, 35, 40-yard line, now they got to take the ball 80 yards in 1:29. Not an easy task.
Well, I think Rocori is capable of doing it, but I don't think they're going to be able to do it out of the wishbone.
Good point. Good point. They in the second half they may have to scrap that wishbone. This isn't a game that where they're going to gain a moral victory. They need a victory flat out.
Pitch coming to the right. John Thompson going to the corner, turns it 20, 25, shuffles his feet, stays in bounds, and they'll keep the clock running. John that time could have gone out at about the 25. Tried to get every last yard that he could, and it will force Rocori into using a timeout. He got about 8 on the carry.
Thompson looks a little bit hesitant to be out there tonight. He just doesn't seem to have that same reckless abandon running the football that he's been kind of known for, especially this year. And right there, he was just kind of, picking his whole feeling a little bit. And I think the real key here is that offense needs to start getting aggressive and start taking some chances, not necessarily play calling, but just taking some chances with a cut here and a burst of energy there. And that may be what wins the football game or loses the football game for them.
So far, turnovers to this point, each team with 1. Fumble on their second drive. Fergus Falls Rocori could not do much with it. Rocori interception there last drive. Fergus gets a touchdown. So 7 points off of turnovers, and of course Fergus with the only points of the game now, winning 14-0. Rocori out of a timeout, now facing a 2nd down and 2. Has the football on their own 28-yard line. Again, tight formation. Near side receiver is Kuhn. Pitch coming out to the right is Kramer. He'll get the first down, cross the 30, 35, get near the 40, depend on the spot here. But a nice run to the short side of the field, and more importantly is that Brian Kramer was able to get out of bounds.
Obviously, 2 great calls. You don't have to put the ball in the air there and risk an interception. You still pick up 20 yards in 2 plays. Great series of calls. Actually, the same call both times, that quick toss to the left. But if they want to score a touchdown here, they're probably eventually going to have to put the ball in the air.
Now they'll spread the formation, wideouts each way, split backs. Back is Burtzel, tight end going down the middle. Pass out to the right side is Mathry, and it looked from here like it probably squirted out, but the middle official says he made the catch. 8-yard gain on the pass to Mathry. Just the way Mathry tried to reel that in, it looked like it probably hit the grass. Yeah, now they say it did.
Yeah.
Well, the official that whistled it complete made a pretty definite call, but the head official with the right hand on stepped in and said, no way, that's no good.
Well, I like that officiating. I mean, they want to get the call right, and obviously the one official knew for a fact that the ball wasn't caught and was able to call that. Excellent officiating.
2nd down and 10 for Rocori after the incompletion. Here comes the counter from the slot receiver. It's Tim Kramer to the middle of the field. He'll pick 7, but he'll leave 2nd and 3, but again, it's going to force the use of a timeout.
Pretty good. I would have to say that the Fergus Falls has done a pretty doggone good job of scouting the Spartans tonight. It seems like all the Spartans' gadget plays, the ones, not even their gadget plays, but their bread and butter plays, have really been shut down successfully by the Otters. It seems like they got a pretty good film in that playbook of Mark Johnson's tonight.
Surprise to me is the fact that Rocori has not run the halfback pass that they used mid-season 3 or 4 times, and I don't know that the play has ever not worked. I mean, they complete it every time they run it.
Well, they set it up so well. You run an option. It looks just like you're running the option. The quarterback pitches the ball. Everything looks the same, and all of a sudden that halfback pulls up and throws a strike. And you probably will see it in the second half, Tony. The problem is that you need to use that play when the opponent isn't expecting it.
Rocori now facing a 3rd4 and about 4 yards. Wishbone spread to the right, receiver right is Kuhn. Handoff fake. Burtzel going around the left side, Lotta running to midfield, 45, 40, near the sidelines on the far side. Let's see, did he get out? It looks like he did. About the 37-yard line of Fergus Falls. A nice job by Burtzel. Again, it came on the quarterback, keeping it around the end.
Again, Rick Burtzel's done such a fabulous job with that all year. Obviously, they didn't get out of bounds because they're rushing up to the line of scrimmage.
They stopped it to move the chains. They've done so. 1st and 10. Burtzel the pass. Rolling right all the way. Throws it out to Mathry. Going for the out of bounds. Gets 10 yards and goes out. Nice job by Ryan Mathry.
Now, that's aggressive football right there. Ryan Mathry knew exactly what he wanted to do with the football there. He wanted to get the first down, get out of bounds, and it looked like he probably accomplished both of those.
Well, he stepped in front of the near side. We'll see where they spot the football.
The problem is that the near side down marker isn't the one that they go by.
Right. But still, football, this is one aspect of football I've always been frustrated with. You've got a down marker on the near side, doesn't agree with the official one. Your receiver goes out, but in this case it might not matter because I think Mathry's got it. Joe, you got something for us on the sidelines?
Well, I was just over on the Fergus Falls sideline, and they were scouting and telling the players, hey, look for the run, and if they're throwing, they're going to throw to number 5, and that's Mathry, and that's exactly what they're doing. So Fergus Falls scouting the team, and they know exactly what's going to happen, but they still have to stop it.
This time, Kuhn is split wide to the right side. In the slot right is Tim Kramer, split backs. Burtzel with the pitch. Brian Kramer coming to the short side. He's going to get positive yards. Stays inbounds. Goes down at the 11-yard line. They have time to line up now thanks to the first down, but Brian again could have gone to the sidelines and elected not to.
Boy, they're getting a good seal block out there by Jason Gertkin and also the wide receivers. But a heck of a job of blocking on that side.
ROCORI lines up quick. 1st and 10 now from about the 11. Burtzel throws it down, and there was no need to do that because the clock was not going to start. He could have probably run a play there. Now instead they're going to lose it down, and it's going to be 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't like that in that scenario at all. Yeah, if you only have a chance for 1 or 2 plays, that's fine. But in that case scenario, you got plenty of time to run a play there, and try to pick up something positive. Now you've really limited your options here in this scenario. So I guess I don't agree with downing the ball right there.
And I disagree too, because now you're faced with having just a couple downs. Pitch coming right. Same play they ran the last time. Kramer runs right over one guy. Stays inbounds and is tackled about the 3-yard line, shy of a 1st down. 20 seconds to go. ROCORI looking to call a timeout. I don't think they have any. Now they're going to have to spike it again.
No, you run something here, Tony.
They're going to spike it, though. That's a bad decision.
Yeah, I agree. You run something there because then you got 2 chances to make the 1st down.
Now you've got one play.
What they're going to have to do now, Tony, is they got to take a shot at the end zone. Even with the 1st down, unless they go out of bounds, they're probably not going to get a playoff here. It's going to be very, very close.
Well, my guess is they're going to run that same play they've ran 3 times to the short side to Brian Kramer, instructing him to get beyond the 1st down marker and get out of bounds between there's only about 2 yards between the 1st down and the pylon.
First of all, I think you got to throw the ball. I really believe that.
First of all, they better hurry up because
they're not going to get this play off. Oh, they weren't even close to getting that play off. I don't understand that at all, folks.
They were just breaking the huddle when they get called for a delay of game.
Oh my, that is not good at all. I don't know whether the official blew that. Look at how quickly the official blew that in right there. I mean, he's counting down to 22, 21, 20 right now. They're not going to get this one in.
ROCORI's bringing in the field goal unit.
I'll be real surprised if they get this playoff.
It's down to about 10 seconds. The kicker's just coming onto the field now.
Yeah, they're not going to get this one
You better hurry. You better hurry. It's 4th down and 8.
That's
He's looking at his watch. They're lined up. Mathery the hold. Kick coming. It'll better. Snap good. Hold good. Kick is up, and it goes through the uprights. And I'll bet you they didn't have 5 seconds to spare.
No. But needless to say, a very, very important score there. Yeah, you would have loved to have had a touchdown, Tony, but I'll tell you, they'll take any positive, especially points.
A huge penalty that delay of game was. Maybe, it just maybe cost ROCORI 4 points.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it probably did. The way they had the momentum going there, the way they were driving the football down the field, I think you're right, Tony. I think it did cost them 4 points.
That hurts. Now ROCORI will have to kick off. They'll probably just try to hit somebody with a football to get the last remaining seconds off of the clock, although there are still 6 seconds left in this first half.
It'll be interesting, because Fergus Falls seems to be the type of team that probably has a gadget play for every situation here. So you probably don't want to kick the ball deep here and give them an opportunity to do a throwback or something.
They've lined up 8 players between the 35 and midfield. I would kick it deep because they've only got 2 guys back there. You can't get too tricky with just 2 guys.
Right here, I see a flag on the 40-yard line. It's definitely offsides on the Spartans, so they're going to have to re-kick from the 35-yard line.
Well, I know Joe Erickson is down to the sidelines. We're going to get him to talk to Mark Johnson once we reach halftime. But I'll bet you Mark is going to be real frustrated with the way the first half, that last drive ended.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to be talking to Mark Johnson.
Joe, you looking forward to it?
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to the conversation. Might play a little word association with him.
For those of you who weren't with us last game, Joe, in the middle of an interview with Coach Johnson, just said, okay, word association, Stirk. Coach Johnson had no clue. Stirk happened to be one of the running backs for Alex, the team that he was about to play. Well, Joe, you do that. I'm sure he'll get a big thrill out of that. They'll kick it from the 35-yard line. They put that 6th second back on the clock.
And that's the correct call. There should be 6 seconds left on the clock because of the offsides penalty, the clock would not start because the clock does not start until an Otter player touches the football.
Heiss will kick for Rocori from the 35. Again, they got 2 deep men back. Kick down the middle of the field, bounces, picked up at the 27. They run forward, and the clock will stop with 2 seconds to go in the first half. Fergus up 14-3. We're probably just down the football here. Although at this point, I guess, having seen them for a half, nothing, I guess, would surprise me.
Well, I'll tell you what, Fergus has got to be real pleased with their performance in the first half. Yeah, offensively they played well. They've hit the 2 big plays, but I think they got to be extremely pleased with the way they've controlled the Spartan running game and the Spartan offense, because we've seen the Spartan offense do some pretty amazing things offensively this year as far as running the football. So the Otters have done one heck of a job.
Split backs, wide receiver to the right. Back to pass is Olsen. I think he downed it, and that'll end the first half. 14-3 our score. Before we send it back to the studio, though, we're going to get Joe Erickson to get an interview with Coach Johnson, and Coach Johnson is making his way to Joe right now. Joe, take it away.
All right, thanks a lot, Tony. And Mark, half filled with the mistakes, and you got down to the goal line. What happened?
Well, we had a mix-up there. We just had too many people over there trying to do a lot of talking, and just got screwed up, and we ended up taking a 5-yard penalty out of it. But maybe it was for the blessing, because if we would have made the first down, we never would have got the play anyway. So we got 3 out of it. Got a little momentum going in the second half. Is what we really were looking for.
Yeah, you did get it was a real nice drive. You got all the way down there. You got the 3 points on the scoreboard, which every coach, you want to go to the locker room with a positive note, and the 3 points is definitely a positive note. What changes do you make, or what do you do in the second half to turn this game around?
Well, I think the only thing that they hurt us on a couple of long passes. That's about it. They're running the ball not that great against us. So defensively, I think we're doing a pretty good job. Offensively, we got to do a better job of sustaining some drives. We started out pretty well, and then we kind of stymied the second quarter. We didn't have a very good second quarter. So hopefully we can turn things around in the third and fourth quarter of the next half.
Ryan Kramer, real successful on the outside. Do you stay with that?
Well, right now we're going to stay with it until they adjust to it, and then hopefully the inside stuff is going to give us a little bit more help.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. Tony, it looks like you'll stay with Kramer, like you said, on the outside, and I'll paraphrase him, and exactly what he said. He wants to go inside if that doesn't work.
Okay, thank you, Joe. And I think they've got to do that, because obviously in the first half, Kramer inside didn't work. On that last drive, everything outside worked. And you can bet you'll see more of that. Even Burtzel earlier taking it around the end worked. But so far, Gary, they have shut down everything between the tackles.
Yeah, and that really surprises me. I didn't think that there were, 5, 6, 7 teams in the state of Minnesota that could do that against the Spartans, because they are very physical up front. But I don't know that it's necessarily the Otters that are doing that. I just think the Rocori offensive line has gotten a lot of looks they haven't seen this year. They've made a lot of mistakes as far as assignments go on who to block and so forth and so on. And I really believe that the second half they're going to come out, run the football effectively. They put themselves in a position where they're not, the Otters don't have an insurmountable lead. They can come back, and the Spartans don't have to abandon their game plan. They can stick to their game plan, and they can still win this football game.
Well, we shall see. The Otters have to be happy winning here against the third-seeded Spartans. Our score at the half is 14-3. Halftime brought to you by Stuart Cabot.
Here offensively, and like we've said all half, they're capable of winning this game. Tony, I want to make one real quick announcement here. For all you cross-country fans out there, I know there's quite a few of you, the Section 8 AA cross-country meet is going to be held at Sartell on, I believe it's Thursday. The girls will start at 4:30, and the boys start at 4 o'clock. So anybody interested in watching some excellent cross-country running, and of course the Spartans will be there, head out to Sartell High School, and that's where it's going to be at.
Just like that, we are ready for the start of our second half. The ball teed up, and it'll be interesting to see if Rocori comes out a little charged up here in the second. Charlie Heiss with the kick, end-over-end kick coming down at about the 28-yard line. Fielded there, big hole. Back across the 40 to about the 41 that time is Brimhall. And not a good kick that time from Charlie Heiss.
No, that's not where you want to give the Otters the ball on the 40-yard line. What this does is this frees up their offense. When you get good position, field position, what you're able to do is you're able to throw the ball, run the ball. You don't have to be so concerned about a 3 and out here. They can freewheel here, and that's exactly what the Spartans don't want to see.
First half, 27 plays, 189 yards for Fergus Falls. Rocori with 35 for 139. So a little more productivity out of that offense of Fergus Falls. Come to the line in the I formation, slot receiver to the right. Here they come around on a fake reverse, but it went up the middle and tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Nice job by Tim Kramer, dragging down Shaw, the ball carrier.
You know what I'm looking at right now? Timmy Kramer makes a good play. He gets up, and the Spartans are clapping, they're high-fiving him, patting him on the shoulder pad. They look like a different football team just from that one play. They look like they're up. They look like they're ready to play some football here.
I see Tim Kramer out there. I do not see Judd Hirschfeld.
No, I don't either.
He is not out there right now. Hurt foot. High ankle sprain is the official diagnosis. Pass to the outside is caught for a gain of about 9 yards. Nice job, one-on-one tackle by Ryan Mathery. Good to see he's back out there. But about an 8-yard strike that time from the quarterback, Aaron Olson.
Yeah, another great throw by Aaron Olson there. I tell you, he stands in the pocket really well. Steps into the ball, or steps into his throw, and really throws a nice catchable football.
Third down short. About 2 yards needed here for a first down. When it moves on, loser packs your bags and brings out your basketballs and hockey sticks and wrestling equipment because football season's over. Third down and 2. Inside handoff to Shaw. He was hit in the backfield, and he pulled the tackler forward and may have gotten the first down.
I tell you what, Tony, I think he's short here. I really do. I can't quite see that other sideline, but he may be a little short here.
Well, who's out there for Hirschfeld? I thought I saw 42 on the tackle that time. That's Brett Tyson.
Yeah, I think Brett Tyson is in there.
They did not give them the first down. Fourth down and short. They're at the line of scrimmage. Rocori now just getting set on defense. Quarterback sneak right up the middle. They stuffed it pretty good. And the far side linesman did not give them the generous spot that this side linesman did. This is going to be awfully close.
Oh, I'll tell you what, this would be an absolutely huge stop for the Spartan defense right here. This would be a great, great momentum builder for the Spartans.
I'm not so sure that he got it.
I'm not either.
This would be huge.
Because they maybe gained a foot on the play.
That's about all they moved the football. It was right on the 50, and now it is with the tail end of the football on the 50, and I'm afraid they got it when they struck it.
Not by much.
They did get the first down.
Jack Bell is pointing here. Maybe they got it by 2 inches at the most. So really a pretty good defensive stand here by the Spartans.
So first down as they pick up 10 yards on 4 plays. And now have it the length of a football inside of Rocori's half. Slot receiver to the right, I formation for the Otters. They lead 14-3. Here comes the running back around. That's Erickson coming around from the slot on the right side. Kind of a counter play, and there on the tackle for Rocori, I think, was Guggenberger.
No, I think it was actually number 24, Paul Schreiner. Again, Schreiner having a heck of a game from that right defensive end spot there. Saw that inside reverse coming. I guess it was the actual outside reverse coming, and he stayed at home, didn't bite on the fake, and really made a nice play.
Second down and 10. After that inside handoff, now they go with the double tight end shot, Wishbone. Backdoor pass, pressured and threw it, intercepted. Oh, he dropped it. He had 6 points. He was headed for the end zone, and he just couldn't reel it in. Oh, that would have been a game breaker. Man, he had it on his fingertips, bobbled it for about 5 yards and let it go to the turf.
Okay, what happened here, folks? First of all, this is a ridiculous call by the referee. The ROCORI Spartans put a fantastic rush on the Otters quarterback, forced him to throw the ball up for grabs. There was no Otter receiver. There's no Otter receiver within 10 yards. He threw the ball basically right into the fingertips of Joe Peters, who had the ball for maybe a count and a half, bobbling it, and had he caught it, he goes to the end zone.
Rocori's got a defensive back 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage here. Third down and 11. Back is the quarterback looking right. 3 D-backs on the receiver, and he cuts in front with the catch.
Jeez.
Spins upfield to the 35. He's going to pick up 15 yards and have a first down for the Otters.
know, you have 6 defensive backs in that formation, and they can't cover 2 receivers. I don't understand. What's happening here is the ROCORI Spartan defensive backs are starting to peek into the backfield and taking a look at those quarterback eyes instead of staying on their men. They need to stay on their opponents.
Well, the quarterback on the left side that time, I saw him slip. They had another D-back about 10 yards behind the receiver where he caught the ball. He lost his footing. Arneson seemed to have no problem doing a little 10 yards and cut to the middle of the field, and the ball was thrown right on the money, first down. ROCORI knew they were going to pass, and they still could not stop it.
Yeah, they're going to have to change their philosophy here. Maybe you send 8 guys, maybe you try to knock Olsen around a little bit. Of course, they've done that. The last play to Joe Peters, and to finish my thought on that play, the quarterback threw the ball in a position there was no other Otter receiver even close to the ball. Without a doubt, it should have been intentional grounding, and that would have been almost, 15-yard loss? So I thought it was a very poor call by the officials, but that's why I'm up here and they're down there.
Judd Hirschfeld has come back out. He's got his left ankle taped, severely taped, but he can barely walk. I don't know how he could think about coming back into this football game, and I very strongly doubt that you will see him back in the game here tonight.
No, you're not going to see Jed. He's really hobbling there. His ankle looks very weak at this point.
First and 10 now after the 15-yard completion for a first down. Handoff goes inside. Dufty fights through first tacklers, crosses a 5-yard gain to the 30, and might get about 8 yards on that one.
Duffy runs a little bit like Kramer does. He's kind of low to the ground. He's really able to knock some people over. He's got a good head of steam, and he's got what we call a nice lean. He always seems to be falling forward when he does fall down. Very difficult to knock him backwards.
At 7 yards that time for Dufty. The thing ROCORI's done now, they're leaving that safety way deep, which should help them on the pass coverage. It hasn't to this point. The thing it's going to hurt is your run coverage inside. Dufty that time, big gainer. Mathery slow getting off, does not get off the field. Handoff, Dufty going around the left side. He lost his footing, but he is going to get close to first down yardage on a gain of close to 3.
I don't know if they threw a flag on Ryan Mathery there, but that should be a legal substitution, a 5-yard penalty against the Spartans, but evidently the official did not throw the flag there.
It's going to be third down, less than 1. Mathery is playing hurt here too tonight.
Yes.
Just the way he ran off the field.
I think he must be cramping up in that right calf area because it didn't look like a twist or anything to me.
Third down, less than a yard. They're slow coming out of the huddle here. They're going to have to snap the ball fairly quickly here to avoid a delay of game. One setback, kind of a wing T look on 3rd and short. Quarterback right up the middle. First down as he gets about a yard to move the chains.
This is really what the doctor ordered for the Fergus Falls Otters here. A nice, long, time-consuming drive. And I tell you, their execution is outstanding right here. They're burning up the clock. We only have 7 minutes and 8 seconds left in this quarter, so just what the doctor ordered.
We've got a good field goal kicker, Luke Traxton. He was knocking him through in the pregame from the 30-yard line. In fact, I don't think I saw him miss. He kicked about 10 in a row from the 30. They're already within his range.
Kind of like Joe Erickson, huh?
Yeah. Fake handoff, went back on the counter to Shaw. He's going to lose yardage. Maybe a loss of 2. There are 6 red jerseys there on Mr. Shaw.
Well, and the run defense, the Spartan run defense has been pretty solid tonight. Rick Tice has done a nice job of mixing up his defensive calls and blitzing at the right times. Right there they just did a heck of a job, but they got to stop the pass right here. You're probably going to see some type of throw on 2nd and 13.
2nd and 13, Erickson lines up in the slot to the right side. On the left side is Shaw. The lone setback is Dufty. 2nd down and 13. Back to pass. Straight back over the middle. Got his man Erickson, and he overshot him. But again, he was behind the secondary. The ball just out of reach. 3rd and 13 coming.
I don't know if that 18 Erickson is that fast or what, but he just seems to run by those ROCORI defensive backs like they're standing still, and he did that right there again. And I'll tell you, if the ball is thrown just a little bit shorter, that's 6 points.
Well, there's no 15 on our program, but I guarantee you can tell me.
That's Lance Johnson.
I know you could tell me. He's listed on the program as number 8. Johnson, 5'10", 150. junior. Spread formation here. Double tight end, 2 wide left, 1 wide to the right. Rocori doesn't even have a D-back to the right side. Back to pass. Olsen flings it over the middle to Erickson. He's hit. A good hit. Shy of the first down on a gain of about 8. My guess is you may see the kicker here.
Yeah, you might. That's probably a good call, and it makes it a 2-touchdown football game again. And
on 4th and 4 with the leg that I saw on their kicker, I would kick here. But then again, for Corey's inability to stop the pass, why not throw the football?
Well, in worst case scenario, you don't make it, and Rocori's got to go, 84 yards, 83 yards for a score. So, this maybe is a good time on 4th and 4 to go for it.
The way Draxton kicks the football, they're going to let the clock run down, call a timeout. Well, they're good. They're well coached.
Yeah, they are.
Rather than just burn a timeout, the quarterback, Aaron Olsen, 5'10 senior, he looked up at the clock, made sure he knew how much time was left, and they let every last second roll off that clock, and then they called the timeout.
Tell you what, they're well prepared for this game. They're not only well coached, there's a difference between being well coached and well prepared. These kids are well prepared. They know the Spartans. They know what they want to do in each situation. And fundamentally, from a coaching standpoint, they are well coached. So they're a fun team to watch. I think they'd be very entertaining to follow for a season.
I think part of that comes down to football sense. I mean, you watch football, you play football, you know football, and you know that the clock now, when you're Fergus Falls, is all that stands between you and a win. So get rid of it. And every chance you get rid of it. And that's something Rocori has not done very well. In games when they've had leads and wanted to use the clock, they haven't done it very well. And same true when they're on the losing end of the game trying to get points. They haven't been real efficient at making the most of those minutes, as was the case the last possession of the first half. Joe Erickson, you on that comfy couch down there in the corner?
Well, yes, in fact, I'm in the couch that belongs to 3 gentlemen, 9th graders, and they're getting ready for this play, Tony. I'll come back to you after this play.
4th down and 4 for Fergus Falls. Big play. Receiver right. It's a pass all the way. Back in motion as a quarterback, and he gets it off on a shuffle pass. It's going to be complete, but it's going to be stopped short of the first down by 5 yards. Rocori's going to get the ball, and Aaron Olsen is still down. But what a play by your senior quarterback.
What an unbelievable athletic play. I mean, you don't see many professional quarterbacks have the presence of mind to throw a shuffle pass when 2 ROCORI Spartan defensive linemen are hanging all over you. You throw a shuffle pass, you complete it. Obviously, they didn't get the first down, but then Olsen was just absolutely planted to the ground. And limps off right now, but I expect we're going to see him back. But a big defensive play for the Spartans. They get the ball back.
5:19 to play, third quarter. Rocori with the ball. Wide receiver right. Handoff goes. Kramer up the middle. Hit in the backfield. Dufty has him, and he's going nowhere. Joe, what's the deal with the couch?
Well, Guy, it's a lottery that was part of the high school program. Tickets went for 50 cents, and we got 3 winners here. First name?
Brandon. Randy.
Matt. What about these tickets? What about these seats, huh, guys?
They're pretty nice.
Fine. There you go, Tony. It's a good seat. If it's a visual for the people at home, you can't see me. But for fans in the crowd, I'm over here in the end zone. It's a good place to watch a game. Tony?
Thank you, Joe. Brian Kramer picks up about 5 yards on second down. That will leave third down at about 4. There they went back away from trying to run it up the middle and came outside. Probably look for them to do that until they stop it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Tony.
They need it here, though. They need the first because this is a punting type of situation. Burtzel going left. Tries to go outside. It's stuffed. Tries to come inside. It's stuffed. Might get a yard or two, but now Rocori's going to have to punt.
Yeah, they're not in sync right now in the running game at all. They're missing blocks, and they really haven't missed all season with the exception of the Sartell game. And I credit really a lot of it to the game plan of the Otters. The Otters are giving them a lot of different looks up front and making their blocking scheme, the Spartans' blocking scheme, very difficult to perform.
Anderson and Erickson go back to receive the punt. Hafner awaits the snap at his 15. Snap back is low, fielded After he lays a boot to it, it's going deep to the 35. Back after it, fumbled, picked up by Arneson, shakes two. He's got a seam across the 40, and he's tackled there as the hole closed quickly. Arneson brought down at the 43, first down there for the Otters.
Tell you what, Tony, what the Spartans need now with 4 minutes and 2 seconds left in third quarter is they need a break. They need a turnover. They need something very positive to happen on this defensive series, or I'm going to start getting a little worried.
Well, I've seen the way you stop the pass, and that is to bring everything you got at Mr. Olson and hope they hit him before he throws the ball.
I agree.
Because they proved they can't stop him once he sets up, so you got to bring so much at him that he doesn't have any chance. Hand off in the backfield, Duffy met at the line, backs forward, and then thrown down. He might get a yard at tops.
And they're going to have a heck of a tough time. The Otters are rushing the football if Rocori's going to bring 8 guys in there.
Schreiner and Rocori are celebrating a bit as they have started now to play some football, but it may be a little bit too late. They still have more than a full quarter, but the Otters are content to get that clock moving. Second down and 10. See, here now you got a questionable pass-run situation. They could do either. But whatever you know, they've got to throw. I bring everybody. Here they go with that kind of a wing T-look. Slots on each side with one setback. Fake handoff coming around the near side. The quarterback Olson shake and bake, cuts, and then puts his head down and barrels forward across midfield to the 49. He'll pick up 7, and he's a tough runner for a little 5'10", 165 quarterback.
It's kind of a street baller. He just kind of seems to feel his way around the field. Doesn't look real pretty at anything he does. He doesn't throw a real pretty ball. His release isn't great, but I'll tell you what, he gets the job done. He's like an old riverboat gambler out there, fun to watch.
Solder and Dickman come back in. They were out on that play for Rocori. Now they're lined up on the D-line. I formation. Erickson in the slot on the left side. Back to pass, now rolling to the right as the quarterback. He's caught in the backfield and dragged down with a 15-yard face mask penalty. He wrapped him around, and the quarterback's legs went flying, and the heads stayed put. And that's going to be a very costly penalty for Rocori.
Yeah, number 75, Charlie Dittman, I think, is accused of it. I think Charlie's saying, hey, I got him by the shoulder pad there. I didn't get him by the face mask, but I think 2 officials threw their flags right there, and from here you could definitely see the head snap back. So
that one very violent looking with the quarterback running, kind of lowered his head, and all of a sudden you see his lower body whip around the side. Would have been stopped short of the first down. Now it's a 1st and 10 at the Rocori 35, and 3 more downs. Another couple minutes off the clock. Same formation here, double tight end, wings on each side, and 1 running back. It's Duffy. Now they move early. There we go. Now that's Canadian football. Both your wing receivers start running, and then they hike the football, give it off to Duffy, and that's going to back him 5 for illegal motion.
One of the things that the Spartans are going to start having problems with is field position. Now, even if the Otters have a 3 out there, they're going to punt the ball and probably pin the Spartans inside the 20-yard line. And as we've seen this year, the Spartans have been a pretty good team when they're ahead in the game or it's been close. But when they get down in the game, they don't have that quick strike, that big playability. They're more of a grinded-out type of offense. So
I think offensively, Rocori needs to change something up. They are too predictable at this point. The only time they've moved the ball is when they were in the hurry-up, running the football. I think if I'm Coach Johnson, they get the ball back, I go with my 2-minute offense, just running the same type of plays with Kramer around the end, but you got to do something because nothing's working offensively. Shaw up the middle, hit at the line of scrimmage, and then bounce forward, then knock back. You'll get a yard or 2 on that run.
You know what, though, Tony? The Spartans have been predictable all year. Offensively, they really have. I mean, granted, they've had a decent balance at times. They've ran a nice waiver pass play, but basically it's been Kramer inside and Burtzel outside on the option, with a few quick tosses and a few counters thrown in there. But, they played smash mouth football. But that's what's really surprised me about the Otters here is they have been able, even though the Spartans are predictable, they have been able to stop them.
So now Rocori here, they spread the formation. You got 1 D-back. You got Brett Tyson trying to cover Arneson. No way. Back to pass, Olson looking for Arneson all the way. Cuts, catch made, Tyson the tackle. You got a 20-yard gain, and you got a kid, Brett Tyson, who has no chance to stay with Arneson. That's a bad defensive scheme there. Luckily, there's a penalty down, and you've got to hope if you record that it's against Fergus Falls.
Tony, I totally agree with you. That's a total misalignment defensively. Brett's a nice athlete, but I'll tell you, a sophomore linebacker trying to stay with the senior wide receiver, that's a tough job.
And you know, we're not the only ones who saw it, because Aaron Olson was drooling when he saw that matchup.
He saw it right away.
And that's the only way he looked when he dropped back to pass. He was going to Arneson all the way. He had him split 10 yards out, and there was only one red shirt that was going to cover. At least you have to show a safety or somebody who's going to present some double cover. Because I think he will take Arneson or Erickson on any of the 11 men in red out there and take them all game long. Doesn't matter who it is. I don't care if it's John Thompson, Joey Bugler. I don't care who it is. When you have your receiver and your quarterback that know where this ball is going to go, I'll take that advantage all day long.
And Tony, you mentioned something a little bit earlier. It doesn't seem like the Otters are slipping out there on this field, but it seems like the Spartans are kind of slipping all over. I wonder if the Otters have longer spikes in their shoes than the Spartans have, because I haven't seen any of them slip.
Now, all the while, the clock has continued to run. Again, they let it run and call a timeout. That is 60 seconds they have allowed to elapse and use their timeouts. They are football smart.
That is a poor job of officiating out there, though. I hate to rag on the officials, but in this situation, when the whistle is blown in, when the play is blown in, you have 25 seconds. I'll tell you what, Tony, more than 25 seconds went off the clock right there.
A little injury update for you guys. Joe Hirschfield trying to work it off, but seems, he said, I talked to him real quickly. He said something like Achilles. He just is trying to run. He's trying to, get back in the game. He's got his helmet in hand. He wants to get back in, but at this point, he doesn't know even if he can make it.
Did you go to him and say word association, and he said Achilles?
Yeah, and then I said tendon.
Okay. Hey, pretty good. Second down and 20. And I'm coaching Fergus Falls right here. I run the football and get us to the fourth quarter.
No question about it. Right here, you're probably not going to get the first down here. You're probably going to end up punting, so you might as well take some time off the clock.
Now Rocori puts two men on Arneson. The first man is Tyson, and Hafner is back about 9 yards. On the other side, they did the same thing. So here comes the run right at you. They're going to take what you give them. Plus, they're going to get rid of the last 29 seconds. Now he's going to pass. Olson looking. Pressure from the backside. Rolls out right. Hangs it down the right side. Almost intercepted as Erickson and one of the Rocori D-backs went after it. But it goes incomplete, and that takes care of just 7 seconds. Now, if I'm Olson there over center, and I see you Rocori with 4 men on the outside, that leaves you 7 in the middle. You got an 8-man front. I run the ball down the middle, and you probably are going to score if you get by that initial line.
Well, not to mention, I mean, you're probably going to have 5 guys in the box there, so you're going to be able to get one-on-one blocking there, and you better win that battle. So I agree with you, Tony. I think you audible into some sort of dive play.
Plus, they would have killed the rest of the time in the third quarter. Yep. Now Rocori's got 2 split wide to the near side on the one receiver, Erickson, 2 ready on the other side, and a safety man deep. Now coming around on the pitch is Arneson. Gets by 1 man. Cuts it upfield. And is going to go out of bounds at about the 37-yard line.
Paul Schreiner, the defensive end on this side, was absolutely tackled by number 43, Ben Weld, for the Otters, and there was no call. Mark Johnson was absolutely living on the side, and so was Paul Schreiner.
Now it's 4th down and 12. He did go out of bounds, so with 14 seconds left. So they have used pretty good clock management, but that time, because Rocori forced him out, Rocori has extended the third quarter here by 3 plays. This will be 4th down and 11, and again, I'm a little bit concerned.
Well, I'm a little bit shocked here why the Otters aren't punting the football here. This makes absolutely no sense to me.
2 wide to the right, 1 set back. Back to passes Olson, no pressure, looking right all the way, throws it. His man dives and did not come up with the football. Rocori, as a result, will have great field position at the 37.
Tony, help me out here. Why didn't the Otters punt the football there? They could knock Rocori back a minimum of 17 yards there, probably more. I certainly punt the football here and try to pin the Spartans back. Now they have good field position. You know, this is a real confidence builder right here.
Well, I don't think that they're too worried about Rocori's offense. Maybe. Rocori has, on all but one possession, failed to move the football at all. I don't think they're very worried about Rocori's offense, but if I'm Mark Johnson, I go with a 2-minute huddle now. It's coming around the near side is Burtzel. Head down, knocked out after a gain of 6. 2nd and 4, and again, our third quarter has again been extended by the sideline.
You know, a nice, probably the best looking play of the second half of the Spartans. A simple option play by Burtzel, but they went back to that bread and butter play, that option, and Rick Burtzel made a good decision there.
Our third quarter has ended. We'll break. Rocori trails 14-3. Back in a minute.
For the freshest bakery foods at the best prices, it's Cold Spring Bakery, where good taste is a family tradition for over 50 years.
On 2nd down and 4, John Thompson gets the ball, comes around the left side, has a first down and a gain of about 4. Now they'll stop the clock to move the chains. That was the first play of the fourth quarter. Now if I'm Rocori, I get to the line in a hurry and I run a play.
Yeah, you know, you want to limit your time you're going to use in this possession right here. We saw the same thing in the St. Cloud Tech game when they got down. They simply ran out of time.
Wishbone spread to the right. Burtzel keeps it, tucks back inside. Hard run about 6 yards. Now you line up and do it again. Now the ball will be kicked around a little bit by the white shirts. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Let's just keep tabs on them. The ball is whistled for play now with 11:32 to play. Rocori is going a little bit quicker than they normally would. They get to the ball now, and they've wasted 10 seconds. Wide out right split backs. Handoff comes Kramer. Cuts inside, shakes off a couple of tackles, gets a first down. Down to the 38-yard line. Gain of, we'll call it 8 yards for Kramer. Now the clock is stopped with 11:17 to go. Rocori quickly to the huddle. Burtzel gets the call from the sideline. Right now they whistle it ready for play, and the clock begins to move. And Rocori's breaking the huddle. So they're doing a pretty good job to this point.
Very good job of time management right here.
Wishbone spread left. Burtzel, quick count, pitch going to the right side to Thompson, cuts inside a blocker, and he's going to get a yard or two tops. They had 3 people out there, and we're not at all surprised by that run by John.
I look for them to run that same play again, Tony, and for Thompson to throw the ball here in the fourth quarter. They ran a quick pitch to the right there, and Thompson cut it upfield for maybe a yard gain. What you're going to see is John Thompson throw that ball before the end of the game.
2nd down and 9 for Rocori. 10:40 to go. They're at the line. High formation. Burtzel back to pass. He's got protection. Throws it over the middle. And Adam Kuhn made the catch shy of a first down. I have not seen an official signal that he made it. As they're talking about it, let's get it ready. There they go. 8-yard completion. Burtzel to Kuhn.
Nice looking drive here by the Spartans, but they have to finish it. And they have to finish it in a hurry here.
Keep these plays coming in quickly from the sidelines. Wide right to receiver. Wishbone spread right. Hand it off, move the chains, and get the clock stopped. Pitch coming to the short side of the field. Thompson, head down, barrels forward. Gets the first down to the 26-yard line, a gain of 3.
Good solid run there by Thompson. He had a good seal block there on the outside by number 63, Teddy Griffin. A real solid looking drive here, but I'll tell you what, it doesn't mean anything when you drive between the 30-yard lines. You need to do something when you get the ball in the red zone, and they're pretty close to that.
This is the best clock management this year.
Yes, without a doubt.
1st and 10 from the 26. Fake counter coming to Tim Kramer. Head down, gets to the 26. A gain of about the 21-yard line that he gets to from the 27, a gain of close to 6.
You know, Tony, that play is a little bit deceiving because they had such a great line surge on the left side there. There didn't appear to be a hole, just the defense or the offensive tackle and guard moved their men off the ball that far.
2nd down and 4. Burtzel, same play. Counter. Kramer gets hit as he crosses the 20. Gets down to about the 16. Should be real close. I think he got it. They'll stop the clock with 9:33 to go. And this hurry-up approach is working.
All right, Tony, what do you do here? Do you take a shot and throw the ball once here in the end zone?
You need 2 scores. I was going to say on the last play, this would be where they're so keyed on the run right now. Rocori had 1 receiver right with 1 D-back on him, and it wasn't Erickson. I would have thrown it right there. But Rocori did a good job, got the clock stopped, and got the first down. I don't do it now because it's kind of a stop. You got to stop for the change, but once I run 2 more plays and you get them back on their heels from the run, then I throw it. I go for it.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. You want to get that. You have the momentum of the running game going right now. Keep it up.
Coon splits wide to the right. Erickson is the D-back on him. Wishbone spread to the right. The clock now whistle ready. 9.5 to play. They're going to throw it now. Open in the end zone. Burtzel shakes a couple of tackles, spins. He's going to be dragged down for a loss of 9 yards. Well, that's how you make it difficult to throw. His receivers were open. He had no chance to throw the football.
Absolutely none, folks. I'll tell you, he did a heck of a job of only losing 7 or 8 yards in that play. He could have lost 12 or 13 yards in a heartbeat. It was a 5-step drop, but he had no chance from the beginning.
That's why I run a couple plays. They were not back on their heels. The delay for the measurement, now you're in trouble. 2nd down and 18. Brian Kramer, right tackle, barrels forward, gets back most of what they lost. About 7, but now it's 3rd down and 11.
Well, you got to remember, this is 4-down territory. No question about it. It's 4-down territory. So
that sack really hurt you.
It did.
Really hurt you, boy. Things were going so well on the ground. I'm frustrated by the pass call on 1st down. 3rd down and 12 now. Rocori from the 20. Wide receiver right is Kuhn. Now they got a pass. Back is Burtzel looking out into the flat, and it's incomplete. Looked like it went right through the hands of the intended receiver, Brian Kramer.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tony, in my opinion right here, maybe I'm premature, but this is a do-or-die play.
Oh, without question. But I'm really seething inside from the 1st down.
Well, I guess I'm not. I think you maybe take a shot at the end zone. I don't think you anticipate that type of blitz on a 1st down situation, you know. And it happened, but now they have to keep their composure. They need to come back here. They need to get this 1st down. They make this 1st down. We don't even remember that play.
4th down and 13. They don't. The game is over. 8:24 to play. Rocori now coming with some trickery. Mathry on the halfback option to the corner of the end zone. Knocked away, incomplete. And on 4th down and 13, Rocori pulls the rabbit out of the hat, but the hat was empty.
Well, obviously we're going to need a 3-and-out minimum. Secondly, it would be fantastic to force some sort of turnover and get the ball back. There still is hope, fans, no question about it.
Well, the fans are getting restless.
But the Rocori defense needs to make something happen right here. They played decent defense tonight, but I'll tell you what, they haven't come up with a big play. Now, number 50, Jed Hirschfield's on the field right now. I'll tell you, if I'm a coach, he wouldn't be on the field simply because I don't think he's going to be an asset. I don't know if he can move well enough out there.
Keep an eye on him. 1st down and 10 from the 20. They're going to milk the clock like you've never seen. Inside handoff to Shaw, shakes a couple tackles, and then gets barreled over after a 2-yard gain. Let's go back. You got a 1st down and 10. Your team has just run 7 successive running plays, none of which picks up less than 4 yards. Why don't you run the ball and have a 2nd and 6?
Well, I think Mark thought that, hey, let's catch him sneaking up here in the corners. Let's try to burn him big. And I'll tell you, if Rick gets one more block there, you got 6 points. And Mark maybe thought, hey, maybe we do have to take a chance to win this game.
2nd down and 7 now. Rocori may get the ball back, but I doubt they will do so with more than 5 minutes to go. Inside handoff, Shaw, a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Problem I have with it is even if you get the sack then on 2nd down, you're faced with 3rd and 11 instead of having a 2nd down and 18. I mean, that just kills you. When you run a wishbone offense, you cannot have a sack when you're on 1st and 10 because you're looking at 2nd and 20.
Yeah, you do have a point right there. If they run the ball and they pick up their 5 or 6, then your next case scenario isn't as bad if you do give up the sack. I understand you're thinking, but I'll tell you, if he scores, we forget all about it.
This play might go the distance. 3rd and 5, they've got man-on-man deep right. Instead, they throw to the left. It's caught, broke tackle, 35-40, 45-50, 45-40. Did I say he's going to go the distance? There he goes, Arneson, all the way, 75 yards for the touchdown. Just like that, 20-3 the score. Fergus Falls puts the nail in the coffin, and it's just about all over for Rocori. Bring out your basketballs.
You are clairvoyant. I'll tell you what, you saw that so quickly, I couldn't even get it out of my mouth, and you were talking about it. You had one-on-one coverage at both corners, and I'll tell you, they're drooling. Aaron Olson looked out there and said, I'll tell you, I'm going to take a 3-step drop. I'm going to hit one of my great wide receivers on a quick slant, and we're going to score, and that's exactly what happened. Just a fantastic play call and great execution.
They'll add the extra, and it will be 21-3. And Jason Crone and the Rocori Spartan basketball team can start practice a little early. Kick is up, and that one's going to hit the track in the back, and the flag comes down late. Maybe offsides, maybe frustration. Let's count the 12 red jerseys. Maybe it's 12 men on the field.
Yes, it is. I do believe that is the call.
Well, we go from a Rocori drive threatening to make it a 14-10 game to a 21-3 game. And now the only question here in Cold Spring is who is Fergus Falls going to play on Saturday?
Well, I think the smart money's on Detroit Lakes right now, Tony. You know, they have such a great program up there.
I wasn't serious.
I know you weren't serious, but
I just meant there's very little left to wonder about it concerning Rocori football at this point.
Well, you know, I think it's kind of a travesty. I think they're probably a little bit better football team. I know they're a better football team than they showed. And you know, Mark Johnson, Rick Tyson, Joe Baumgarten have done a good job with these kids. They brought them along well. It's a good group of kids and a good group of athletes. I feel disappointed that they never quite got over that hump this year. You know, they just couldn't bury people, and you know, it's too bad because their talent was there this year.
Well, it's definitely a hard way to go out. They're penalized after the extra point, so it stays 21-3. And now you may see a field goal here on the kickoff. Because I have a feeling that this Draxton kid can put it through the uprights here from the Rocori 45-yard line. And I think he'll probably try.
Yeah, I bet he can.
So it's lined up at the 45, and he'll kick from there. Can Draxton boot it through? A 55-yard field goal for no points. I know Joe Erickson could do it. No, it's not going to get close. Okay, maybe it'll get close. It came down right about the back line of the end zone. Joe, could you have done such a job?
Well, you know what? I didn't have good grades in 11th grade, so Fergus Falls was going to play. They could give me as a kicker because my leg's feeling real good right now.
Don't say that too loud. Some people may have saw you down there before the game tonight. What were you, 0 of 8?
No, I made one. I made a 25-yarder. I made a 25-yarder. One small note here. You're in the feeling right here on the sidelines is of a lot of shock and disbelief from the players. They just, they're angry, but they can't believe it's happening.
Back to pass, Burtzel, he's going to get hammered if he doesn't get rid of it. He does, and is that not how it's gone tonight? Brian Kramer, I think it was Brian Kramer, tripped over the 20-yard line, backpedaling to try to set himself to catch that ball, went off his fingertips, incomplete.
I'll tell you what, Tony, the Spartans have gotten no breaks tonight. Yeah, they haven't made some breaks, but they really have. The ball hasn't bounced right for them. I mean, Joe Peters could have picked off that pass and gone, you know, the distance with that tipped ball there, and you know, that's going to happen. You just hope that you play well enough in other departments of the game to make up for that.
Wholesale substitutions now for Rocori. Burtzel back, escapes the pressure, throws it out on the flat to David Ike. He's got it. He's planted as he gets to the 25. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Otters, they came to hit tonight. They have some solid defensive backs. They've done a heck of a job of defending the pass, and when the ball is caught, they'll put a lick on you. So, you know, this is a pretty good Fergus Falls team out here right now, folks.
Wishbone spread to the right. 3rd down and 4. Coming right is Burtzel. He's got a lot of room now. He pitches it late out to the trailing tailback, turns the corner, crosses the 35 to about the 38-yard line. That'll be a 1st down.
Well, they've got to get a little bit more of a sense of urgency here. They have to throw the ball down the field here. You know, if they want any hope at all, they need to get a score within the next minute. Probably onside the ball, recover that. You know, they have to get 3 quick scores right here, and you're not going to do it gaining 8, 10, 12 yards. You got to go down the field and take your shot.
Corey up now in the wishbone on a 1st down. Here comes Tim Kramer coming to the right. Stiff arm one man, stiff arm another. Hit from the backside. Thrown down by a smaller tackler after a gain of about 2.
Yeah, that's number 35 again, Chad hopping in. I'll tell you, for a guy that's 5'10", 150 pounds, he can come up and put a lick on you.
Yeah, this team has been hitting tonight.
And they play with such aggression. They don't, their assertiveness, they're not necessarily their hitting, but everything they do, they're so sure of themselves. That's what's really impressive. They don't dance around or anything. They know exactly what they want to do. They're so well versed in what they do well that it's really fun to watch these guys. I don't think they're the most talented football team on the field even. I don't think they're the most talented, but I'll tell you what, they execute so well, and they're fun to watch. They really are.
Earlier this year, they lost to Detroit Lakes 21-14. They're going to get a chance to play them again because Detroit Lakes at last report 41-6 was the final of the Detroit Lakes game, so they will meet at Detroit Lakes on Saturday.
I'd like to see that one. I think that'd be a good football game. I believe these guys have the faith and the belief in themselves that they can play with a lot of teams. It's a good athletic town, Fergus Falls. We've seen what they've done in basketball in the past. It's a college town. The kids are, exposed to a lot of sports in that town, and I think it really shows in these kids. They seem to be very educated about the game of football.
Burtzel runs a sprint draw coming up the middle. Nice move. Cut back to the right side. John Thompson with his best run of the night. Pick up about 13 yards on that run.
Well, it's nice to see what Thompson did there as he made somebody miss. The Thompson boy would have tried to run over that guy or, be indecisive, but there he made a miss. Great move by Thompson.
Own spread to the right. The whistle are ready to play. The Corey's ready to go. Hand off is a dive play. No, it's coming around the right side. Burtzel late pitch to Thompson. Outside, he takes it across the 40 to the 39, and Rocori has been able to move the ball in the 2-minute offense. But like their last drive, it doesn't do you any good if you get to the 20-yard line.
Well, when you're down 18 points and you're biting off 7 to 10 to 12 yards, you're not going to win the football game. You have to get huge chunks of yardage here, and you got to get it in the end zone in a hurry.
I still say, had they not thrown on first down, this could be the drive to take the lead. Fumble on the snap, and it may not have mattered.
It may not have mattered.
Fergus Falls gets it on the fumble. So imagine it 14-10, Rocori just fumbled.
Well, Rick Burtzel is just trying to pull out of there a little bit too quick and trying to give himself, a chance to make or have a better view of the football field. And from the football, I'll tell you, that's a tough way to go out right there. You like to go out battling rather than whimpering.
Now, look at Jed Hirschfeld running out onto the field. Why? Come on.
Well,
give me a break.
Right now, I tell you, Jed just says, hey, I got 5:22 left in my career. Yeah, I want to finish it on the football field.
Oh, well, come on. You've got a 21-3 score. That's why you have a coach.
Right.
I mean, of course, he's going to lobby to play football, but as a coach, you don't want to kill him.
Are you going to realistically win the football game now?
Exactly.
So, I mean, if you're not going to realistically win the football game, why not play your senior out there? Your senior leader, he's not going to do any more damage to the ankle.
Well, you're no doctor.
Right, good point. Joe Erickson we use for that.
Okay, guys, I'm not going to get in between you two, but I do know that there's 18 seniors out here that are getting ready to end their high school career, perhaps for the last time be on a football field. So time to reflect for some players with 5:22 left.
1st and 15 from the 33 after a delay of game penalty. Counter going back to the left to Shaw. And I'll tell you what, if you said there's no passing allowed on this football field tonight, Rocori may have been able to win because they have been able to stop the run game of Fergus Falls. But they have not stopped the passing game tonight. And really, Gary, if you look at any game we've watched this year, they haven't stopped the passing game against anybody.
No, they really haven't. The only way they stopped passing, and you alluded to this earlier, was with a heck of a blitz.
And that's how they did it.
Yep.
That's how they got their sack.
Yes.
Because the receivers were open. Burtzel didn't have time to throw it. Here comes Shaw. Shaw breaks a couple of tackles, gets out to the 45. He'll pick up about 7 yards. It'll be 3rd down at about 4. And with 4:35 to go, Rocori trailing 21-3. Rocori's offense, a couple of turnovers. Defense gives up a couple of big plays. And that's a recipe for bringing out your basketballs.
Well, that's really the key, giving up the big plays. It's one thing to give up a lot of yardage with the pass, and now, kind of the rubber band defense, bend but don't break, but it's another thing to give up the big, long bomb, and that's what they've done.
3rd down and 4. Offsides on Rocori, and that'll cost you 3 minutes because that's going to give them a 1st down. Now you don't talk in terms of the 5 yards. Maybe they move. Boy, they did move. That's good. ROCORI might actually get the ball back here to run a few more trick plays before the end of the game.
I'll tell you this, this defensive unit, other than the 2 big plays, has not played a bad football game tonight, especially against the run. But they have to learn that you can't let the receiver get behind you. And that's haunted them in the Brainerd game. That's haunted them in other games this year.
Sartell, Brainerd, every team that can throw the ball, maybe with the exception of Little Falls, just ate ROCORI up. Now they're going to do a 3rd down quick kick and a nice kick.
Oh, is that beautiful?
Down at the 25, nice bounce inside the 10. That might go into the end zone. And it does, just barely. The kid kicked that ball from his 30-yard line. 70 yards, about 30 of it with the roll, but it was a nice kick. ROCORI will get it 1st and 10 from their 20. 3:30 to play in the ROCORI season. They trail 21-3.
Tony, was that 1st down?
No, 3rd down.
It was 3rd down? Then I like the call. I do like the call there. That was...
what if it had been 1st down? Now, if Joe Erickson were coach, he might have called for a quick kick on 1st down.
My theory is the same as Steve Martin's. I punt on 1st down.
That does not surprise me. You probably see a fumble and offer to hand it back. Well, here comes a little trickery. Burtzel wide open to Thompson, and Burtzel, if he was trying to throw a runner out at 2nd that time, would have just thrown it down the right field line because he missed his receiver by a long ways.
Yeah, the Rick really looked like a sharp quarterback. Those, that 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th football game of the year, but his last 2, he hasn't looked sharp. He doesn't seem like he has that, I don't know, maybe the same confidence that he had earlier, but I'll tell you what. For a junior to come in, he has had one heck of a football season, though. I like Rick Burtzel as a quarterback, and I know you do too.
Back and rolling right as Burtzel goes over the middle, looked for Kramer, went out of Kramer's hands. Tim went off the receiver's hands. Mathery fell incomplete. Mathery with a taped ankle. Jed Hirschfeld had a taped ankle. But for ROCORI now, they had 18 seniors on the field in dress tonight for football. It's 18 players that Coach Johnson's going to lose off of this football team.
Well, and a very dedicated 18. 18 that put a lot of time in the weight room, has some very good leaders in the football field, and I know they're going to be very much missed by Mark and his staff next year.
Handoff comes to Tim Kramer, puts his shoulder down and rolled over the tackler and upset himself because he really went down easy that time. Hopping and got him.
Again.
That shouldn't happen. A 5'10", 150-pound quarterback. Tim Kramer just kind of laid his left shoulder down and just kind of fell down.
Hopping and got a little bit lower than he did there, was able to kind of almost cross-body block him there, take his feet from underneath him, and Hoppin has done that a couple of times. He's a good tackler out there. It just kind of proves that you don't need to be, a physical specimen to be a good tackler. If you have good technique and you're aggressive to the ball carrier, you're going to make a lot of tackles. That's what he does.
4th down and 7 now. ROCORI on their own 22-yard line. And I think Joe Erickson's packed it in for the year. Where are you going, Joe? You leaving us? You're punching out early? 2:56 to go, and he's making his way up here to the box.
He has something in mind, and it's scaring me. He's on a dead sprint up here, folks.
He runs a 40 in a tad over 10 seconds. Just a little bit.
That's downhill.
Came up here to get a list of captains so I can try and get a word with some of the senior captains. There's
they're going to be real happy to talk to. You see that program you got in your back pocket? They're the ones with the stars by their name. 4th down and 7. ROCORI out of the wishbone. Back to pass is Burtzel. Burtzel floats it down the right side. He's got him open. Caught at midfield. 45. Thompson tackled. They'll stop the clock, move the chains, and that's the nicest touch on a pass Burtzel's had all night.
I think that was number 15, Lance Johnson there, but I'll tell you, Rick Burtzel throws that long ball very well. Maybe as good as any quarterback we've seen this year, but he really hasn't thrown that tonight, or even against Alex.
Well, the thing he did there, it seems on most of his passes tonight, he's tried to throw it through the receiver. That one he laid right on the money, and it was perfectly thrown. High formation, pitch coming to the outside. Thompson switches hands, waits for his blocks, then cuts through. Nice job of running. Gets the 1st down as he gets to the 30. Boy, he just waited for that play to develop, and it did. and when it did, he hit the hole in a hurry.
Yeah, that's what Thompson did there. He waited for it to develop, and then, instead of dancing up to the hole, he saw the hole and just turned on the afterburners, accelerated through the hole, got his shoulder square to the line of scrimmage, and that's really a good run there by Thompson.
1st and 10, Rocori, pitch out, going to the right side, turning the corner. And about a 2 or 3 yard gain out there. Is that Widmer?
Chad Widmer, number 2, right.
Picks up about 3 yards. Kuhn brings the play in for Rocori.
Mark Johnson is getting his seniors in right now. I'll tell you a guy who's kind of an unsung hero out there is number 30, David Ike. You know, Dave's come in and carried the ball a few times pretty well this year, and he's had, you know, maybe the most valuable special teams member this year, and he's in there right now. Maybe he'll get some carries right here.
2nd down and 6, Rocori, slot receiver right, coming through on the counters. Tim Kramer cuts it upfield through a big hole, now cuts back to the right, 15, 10, 5-yard line, reaches out for the end zone, but they're going to mark him out at about the 3-yard line.
Nice cut by Tim Kramer there. I'll tell you what, nothing was open to the left side of the football field. He reversed his ground, took it all the way back to the right side for a heck of a gain.
Minute 45 to go as the clock is stopped after going out of bounds. Rocori at the 4-yard line. Trailing here by 18. A game that was put away with a long pass, and all 3 of their touchdowns tonight came on long passes. Handoff goes up the middle, big hole, running room touchdown from 3 yards out. Couldn't catch a number on the ball carrier, but it's probably Brian Kramer.
It is, number 34, Brian Kramer.
Kramer with his last run, likely last run for Rocori. It is for a touchdown from 3 yards out. Rocori now down 21-9. Well, at this point, it doesn't matter whether they kick it or go for 2. They will probably kick it.
Well, I tell you, that's a nice way for Brian Kramer to go out. You know, he's had such a fine career here at Rocori. You know, he probably had 600 yards rushing this year, and you know, a guy like that deserves a better fate.
Snap, place good, and as is the kick. It's 21-10 with a minute 42 to play. Charlie Heiss adds the extra. And after the Brian Kramer touchdown run, the extra point is good, and Rocori's deficit is 11. You notice about when they scored that last touchdown, I stopped with the statistics. I normally try to keep them, and when that touchdown was scored, I kind of wrote it off. So I won't have statistics on Brian Kramer's night, but at last report, he had 72 yards. He's picked up a few since then. I don't think he will break 100, but still a good performance by the senior.
And a real solid career. You know what I kind of hope with Brian Kramer is he does choose to play college football at some place or some level, because I think his best years in football are ahead of him. I think he can be a heck of a fullback in college, maybe even a defensive player, but you know, he's got a real knack for the game, Tony. We've seen it time and time again. He's got some quickness. Obviously, he's got the strength and power at fullback. He's a good blocker, and I really hope he goes on to play some college football.
21-10. What this means for you and I is there's no trip to Detroit Lakes. I know.
Well, I really wish we were going up there, because I think this team deserves a better fate. They're a better football team than they showed, and I'd love to be going to DL.
Detroit Lakes has 10 of their 11 within 20 yards of the football, and they suspect, as do everybody here, that the ball will kick onside. They do. The ball just whirls around on the ground.
You didn't get that AstroTurf hop there.
It didn't roll at all. The thing never got more than 2 feet off the ground. It ended up in the hands of Aaron Olson, the other team quarterback. And I'll tell you, I've been real impressed with him tonight.
Oh, I'll tell you, he's a gamer. You know, I'm trying to think who he reminds you of, but maybe like almost a Kenny Stabler type throwback quarterback that really never knew what they were going to do until they got the ball in their hands. And this kid's fun to watch. He really is. It looks like he's out of the ball game right now. They put in, looks like junior Ben Brimhall, a 6'1", 165-pound quarterback.
1:41 to play in the game. Brimhall fakes it, goes to the left, and dives forward for about 2 yards. They'll snap the ball a couple more times. And I don't know the timeout situation, but Rocori may not use them.
Rocori's got a lot of their substitutes in the football game right now. One encouraging note for them, their junior varsity team did finish at 6-1, could easily have been 7-0 this year, just had a fantastic year. The only game they lost was to Brainerd, and that was on an onside kick towards the end of the game, so the future looks bright for the Spartans.
Wishbone, 2nd down and 9, handoff up the middle. Met at the line of scrimmage and thrown backwards. Good tackle by David Ike. Ike hasn't gotten a lot of time on defense before. He made a nice tackle there.
David's an aggressive player, there's no doubt about it. The other player in there was number 73, Paul Weiss. I know I've mentioned his name on the radio a couple times this year, but I'll tell you, Paul is going to be a good football player. He didn't get a lot of time until the last 3 or 4 games, but I watched him on JV, and he is an aggressive, scrappy player, and he's going to be a nice football player for Johnson next year.
3rd down and 9 now. Clock down to 30 seconds. They will be able to run out the clock on this possession. Around on the left side, Brim Hall breaks it into the open. He's got positive yards, about 8 yards. Off left tackle, it'll be 4th down, and they will not have to snap the ball again. Want to pay tribute to all of our sponsors: Martitelli's Pizza, Cold Spring Granite Company, Cold Spring Co-op Creamery, Richmond Concrete Products, Jeff's Auto Body, Erkin's Water Softener Service, State Bank of Cold Spring, Ruggies Snyder Drug, the Cold Spring Bakery, the State Bank of Richmond, and Tyson Building Supplies. Without those folks, we would not be here, and we certainly hope you drop into their facilities and buy whatever it is they sell, because without them, we would not be here. Joe?
Well, a special moment. A little sad right now, but right here on the Rocori bench right now are most of the seniors lined up, and they're kind of reflecting back on the season and perhaps their career. But someday they'll look at this day as a special moment. But right now, they're a little bit sad.
4th down and 2. Rocori, I believe, did use a timeout here.
Well, one observation, Tony, that I have, and I think Joe made a real good point there, is that, it's been a long time since I've been in high school, and yet I still remember parts. Yeah, thank you. I still remember parts of every football game I ever played in. These memories stick with you, and people don't realize the importance, the significance that football can play in your life. And I'll tell you,